What's up? Welcome to the Adams Arms. It's a thirsty Thursday night during the interlull, this beautiful little break from actual football in which national teams play each other. I have no idea why. I'm going to go through some of the big stories and we're going to hopefully talk about some football alongside what we normally talk about, which is everything else. So thank you for, of course, Tuesday was a very rare night off, first night off this year. Thank you for all the well wishes. So what do you make of the fact that Andrea Berta is still not announced as the Arsenal sporting director, be only our second sporting director? Why do we as a club take so long to announce things that have already been established? I mean, no one else is in the frame. Everywhere you look, people are talking about who's he going to sign, who's he going to bring in, what kind of players. Then there's a subject of our best players coming up for contract extensions, etc., etc. I want to hear from you. Why do you think Andrea Berta is still the best kept secret? I'm going to rattle through these comments are building up. My goodness, you're a thirsty bunch today. Miss Molina, wonderful to see you here. Evening to you. Geez, Hawkwind is here. Malia, you boss man. Good to have you back, bro. Thank you so much. I only had one night off, you know. Jordan's here. Hey, Jordan, how you doing? And Zanzi, look at that evening landlord. I'll have a pint of Birra Tirana and a few cotlets to nibble on, please. That's over my head. What the hell is that? Hello, fellow Adams Armsers as well. So, yeah, big questions for me around Andrea Berta. I think we all know he's definitely coming in now, but I've been giving a lot of thought to this because you see a lot of reports on who exactly his top priorities are, who he wants to bring in. It looks, according to in the know journalistic sources, it does look as though Martin Zubimendi is done. Increasingly looks like Nico Williams is coming. I'm not sure how I feel about Nico Williams. I do think Martin Zubimendi is a good signing in light of the fact that Jorginho looks like he's off. In fact, he's had to fly out, I think, to Brazil to settle that. And, of course, Thomas Partey, one of our best earners, does not look like his contract will be extended either. Therefore, Martin Zubimendi would be a great signing. Let me know how you feel about that. Obviously, as Arsenal fans, what we don't want is another transfer window where we sign everything but, another left back and another midfielder. We absolutely all can agree at this point that it's high time we went out and signed a forward player. But this is one of the things I want to talk about. I want us to talk about is Andrea Berta has come in with a good track record, not always a good track record, but a good track record of signing forwards. And what better timing could there be? He signs more than one for every season. I think he signed 15 in the 12 years he was at Atletico Madrid. So he definitely knows his way around signing a forward. And that is what we need. However, at this point in time at Arsenal, it's not identifying the players that's really the issue. We know we need one of the elite strikers in European football to really be that difference maker. A lot of talk about Benjamin Sesko. I saw he played tonight and didn't score. On the other hand, Mikel Merino played tonight and scored in the 95th minute for Spain. So another conversation that I'm happy to have, although I think it's a pretty silly one, really. Is Mikel Merino an answer up front? Obviously not. Haven't had a chance to talk to you all about the game against Chelsea yet. It was a win, although from some of the responses on YouTube, from some of the fan base, it does feel like nothing's quite good enough. I get it. We're still 12 points behind Liverpool. Do you think, are there any among you that think that we might claw back a 12-point deficit against the Liverpool side that don't really look like they're going to lose 4 games out of the final 10? And is there some shame in coming second to a Liverpool side? Should we be the subject of banter that we so often are? So many questions. But I want to also, beer is Albanian, the nibble is something they eat in Latvia. Well, Thank you for bringing an international flavour to the Adams Arms. We have pork scratchings. Help yourself. Jorginho is a good leader. It's a bit upsetting that he's leaving. A good squad player, but I understand we need to upgrade that position. I agree with you, actually. I think one of the big concerns I would have is that realistically, we need 2 forwards. We need at least 1 winger. We're bringing in a defensive midfielder, and we probably need a goalkeeper. That's a lot of players to bring in one season, in one transfer window. What that does to the chemistry, I mean, it's 20% of your squad. What it does to the chemistry of the team isn't clear to me. In the way that we lost players in this summer transfer window, I think that had an impact. That kind of made it a little bit of a muggier start to the season. I'm not sure it's such a great idea. I'd quite like to keep Jorginho. I don't know who's driving this. Surely an extra season. I think his impact on the team as that sort of general. He's also captain when he does play. And I can't remember last time he let us down playing. Malia, that Chelsea game was so long, but at least we got the win. It was a weekend extender, wasn't it? It was one of those games where if you had a day to live, you'd probably want to watch that game on repeat. It wasn't a great spectacle of football. What do you think the reason is? Is it, look, part of me starting to worry about the fact that we don't ever, we never take the handbrake off. We never just seem to play with fluidity and flair. There's no individual moments of brilliance. I think this is a wider problem across football. When I look at Manchester City, when I look at our own team, there's other teams in there that I just think they don't have that individual creative freedom. I think if anyone typifies that in the Premier League at the moment, it probably is Cole Palmer. So a Chelsea without him, really turgid, very dull, and definitely not what you want in a derby. Although, look, 1-0 to the Arsenal, it used to be good enough. It used to be a result that we were all happy with, let alone when we have no forward players to speak of. Decision to rest Nwaneri, I thought, was an odd one. How do you feel about Nwaneri not getting a call-up and Miles Skelly getting call-up? For me, I think I've said this often enough that you all know it about me anyway, I have long been of the opinion that Miles Lewis-Skelly is the big player to come through. He's the one that really excites me in terms of his ability his attitude, and I think he's a future Arsenal captain. And obviously, I think there's more and more people seeing that and thinking that now. There's also the talk, of course, with Jorginho and Partey going, that his natural position, of course, isn't left back. It is a defensive midfielder. And there seems like there would be an avenue open to Miles Lewis-Skelly for that position. And that's got to be a good thing, in my opinion, because I'm not sure I ever feel really comfortable with him as a left back. Get me wrong, as defensive midfielder, he's still going to be volatile and pick up the occasional card. That's what young players do. It is part of the whole growth experience, but perhaps he's less likely to cause a mistake or have a mistake in him that leads to a goal at left back, or as a defensive midfielder rather than left back. I feel like because there's so many games in the season, it just gets tiring to go out every weekend, plus midweek and Champions League go sometimes games a bit dead, 100%. Are we all playing too much football? Is this a case of give them what they want? Because there was a time where I would quite happily watch international football, and I can't be the only one who's looking at this international break, where it was always an international break that I just really resented. And now I kind of feel like, oh, good. A couple of weeks of just not caring, not having to put up with endless jokes about, even when Newcastle, and fair play to Newcastle, first trophy in 70 years. I want to circle back on the whole Newcastle conversation, because you'd have to be very churlish not to feel something for a Newcastle side, for fans that have waited that long to lift silverware. And I'm not one of these people who thinks the Carabao Cup isn't worth anything. Of course it is. I remember in '87 when we won it, it was a massive deal to us. Ended our almost 7-year gold drought, 8-year gold drought, I think it was. And obviously that's not the same as 70, but it means a lot when you win trophies. It's a big deal. But I don't remember Newcastle fans at any point up to now being quite so antagonistic about their club. Obviously, the previous manager and the previous owner, yes, there was a lot to be angry about. But I I think about that in Newcastle. I've been thinking a lot about the Newcastle side under Kevin Keegan, which caught the imagination, which Newcastle fans still rave about, which didn't actually achieve as much as the current Mikel Arteta side. Is there a chance that Mikel Arteta could end up like the Kevin Keegan Newcastle era at Arsenal? Is there a chance that Mikel Arteta is only going to get us to that second place, that nearly and not quite? And is there something different about Arsenal fans and Newcastle fans that we can't embrace that with a little more enjoyment than they did? And here he is, the Bristol Bomber, Earthfighter. Big up yourself, mate. Big up, Razor, you bloody legend. You want something? You know, I very much do. I very much do. I think Ranieri should have got a call up, even if he doesn't actually play. At least he's around that atmosphere of first team players. I'm surprised he didn't. To be honest with you, I haven't looked at the England squad. I don't care. I care at the international. I mean, the Euros was disappointing, wasn't it? I mean, Harry Kane walking about. I mean, I could play that well. I think who have we even got coming up? Is it Latvia and someone? It just doesn't matter to me. But I agree with you, Malia. I think it would have been really nice for him to get a call up to be involved. Let's see. Okay, so I should have done this a little moment or two ago, as I always forget. Can't do this all by myself. England, Miss Melina, thank you for updating me. England, Albania, and Latvia. I haven't seen Rosie about, but Fan Dabby Rosie will no doubt still be playing her bagpipe with excitement at the fact that, and I'm going to read this because I don't understand it. Just flat out don't understand it. Nations League playoff. I don't know what the Nations League is. Somebody tell me what is this Nations League? Who won it last time? Who cares? Scott McTominay's penalty moves Scotland closer to retaining their Nations League A status as they edge past Greece in the first leg of their playoff. What does that mean? What does that mean? I mean, does football need this much football? I mean, Nations League, can't we just have the Euros and the World Cup? That's plenty, isn't it? I love this. I'm so excited for the Latvia game. Not. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, there's a good pub quiz question for you all. Name a single Latvian player. Ever, actually. Well, name a single ever Is Igor Stepanov's Latvian? Have I just answered my own pub quiz question? I hope not. Please do let me know. It's another waste of time tournament Nations League. I genuinely, and I'm not trying to be sort of glib, I really honestly don't know anything about this Nations League at all. For me, it's just a chance to do something else. I've got no clue of Latvian players. You are not alone, Miss Melina. You are not alone. You are not alone. No one knows who these players are. Why would you? So why do we play them? What is there to prove? It's not going to affect anything. I honestly would much rather just see us all have a bit of a break from football from time to time. And also, apart from anything, like after the last international break, it was the last international break, wasn't it? Where we sent our captain off to play with Norway and an Austrian tried to take his leg, injured him. Do we need this anymore? Igor Stepanov's from Arsenal. Yes, I did. So was he Latvian? Old and retired, retried Stepanovs. You know what? The young Stepanovs wasn't exactly much to write home about. I hope you're not watching, Igor. I'm sorry. But you know what? Better for Arsenal than I did and all of that. But really, yeah. So I think I've covered a lot. I know you had a typo. I read it. Don't worry. I read spelling mistakes I can understand. Thomas Tuchel saying that on the subject of internationals, a manager I really, really don't like. It's going to be very difficult for me if he turns out to be the man to bring silverware to England, because as much as I'm saying I don't really care about the Nations League, none of us do. What I will confess to is a deep love of tournaments like the Euros and the World Cup, and I desperately want to see Freudian. I desperately want to see England win one before I die. Just not sure it's going to happen. I remember when the song came out and they're talking about 30 years of hurt. Yeah, It's been 38. I mean, it's been a long time now. Krista Tobers, he's a defender. Thanks, Google. Me and Mel got a point. Yes, you did get a point. It's worth nothing. It's the only question I'm doing tonight. But England manager Thomas Tuchel has said he wants a team to play with a hunger to win. So easy when you put it like that, isn't it? And not a fear to lose. Or maybe both. Maybe a hunger to win and a fear to lose. I don't know. But under former boss Gareth Southgate, England reached back-to-back European Championship finals. It was exciting that we got to the finals. First one against Italy, we should have won. Second one against Spain, all right. Nico Williams scored tonight, didn't he, for Spain, alongside Marino. Perhaps they will be teammates. International football for me is all about big tournaments and not nations leagues or friendlies or qualifiers. Even I think the World Cup is getting to a place where there's every team will just be there anyway. Yes, he did score tonight. Both Nico Williams and Mikel Merino. I think Merino scored in the 95th minute. It was a 2-2 draw, wasn't it? Guys, imagine if England actually win. A German manager has won with the England squad. It's funny to me. There was such a divisive response. I didn't see it coming. I didn't predict that people would be so against the idea of a German manager. I suppose that's naive of me. But I think, honestly, if he wins a trophy for England, no one's going to care. But I thought it was really funny, the stupid questions. Are you going to sing the national anthem? Did Sven-Göran Eriksson ever sing the national anthem? Did Fabio Capello stand there and sing the national anthem? Not all the players sing the national anthem. Do we need a manager to sing? In fact, it's not karaoke. I don't care. And also, look, the England ladies didn't need an England manager. The Premier League is not flush with English managers. I mean, there's Eddie Howe. Who else is there? Someone list some other English managers in the Premier League. I'm sure I'm missing a couple. Maybe there is only just one. Is Eddie Howe the only English manager in the Premier? Oh, Graham Potter. Could have him, I suppose. I mean, if that's who you're choosing between Graham Potter and Eddie Howe, there you go. Jose's here. Great to see you. Right, just after I'd said it though. So yeah, Potter, Eddie Howe. I'm going to have to look at the league table, aren't I? Thomas Tuchel talking about transforming us, but the squad, are you confident? Do you care? Does anyone care how we do in the game? I've even forgotten. Miss Molina, you did tell me who we're playing, and I've forgotten again. That is what it is, isn't it? It's just stupid. International football. It does nothing for me. It does nothing for me. But coming back to my beloved Arsenal, our beloved Arsenal. Why haven't we announced Albania? All right. Albania. Name a famous Albanian footballer. I can't do it. I honestly can't do it. We should beat these. Imagine if Thomas Tuchel died. Here he is. Zanzi here to bail me out. Zanzi Barbarian, formerly Zanzi Barbarian, now Zanzi. How are you?
Evening, landlord.
Evening. How have you been since your birthday? How have you been since your birthday last week?
64. When I'm 64.
When I'm 64.
Oh no, you can't do that. You get struck off right now.
Oh yeah. No. If you sing the whole song, but if I sing a little bit out of, I've deliberately sang it terribly out of tune, just so it wouldn't be copyright strike.
I thought that was normal.
What you do get away with.
Oh yeah, talking about the food. That's why I did the Albanian and the Latvian one. We're playing next, you see.
Gotcha. Understand now. I had no idea what you were talking about. Will you be watching said epic games?
Well, it's World Cup, isn't it? And it's not this.
It's not. It's Nations League, isn't it? I thought it was Nations League.
It's World Cup.
Oh well, I beg your pardon. Well, of course. If it's a World Cup qualifiers, my 1,000 apologies to all assembled. I've betrayed my ignorance in a most epic way. Fair
I'm
enough.
saying it's World Cup now.
I'm
Yeah,
going to look. I have no
yeah,
idea.
World Cup qualifier flyers.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
There's some really interesting games in our group. There's Andorra, Latvia. We've got Albania.
It doesn't makes the sphincter tighten, doesn't it? What if we? When are we playing? When are we actually playing?
We've
Are we
got
playing this weekend?
We've got tomorrow night, and then we've got Monday.
Are we playing tomorrow night? Oh God, yeah, we're playing Albania tomorrow, presumably at Wembley. Although I imagine
both games are at home. Don't know why.
Wonderful. Well, that's good. Tomorrow, Malia. As you can see, I'm just not really feeling I think there's too much football. I never thought I'd say it, but I mean, this is the first international break in my life. I think I've kind of felt like, oh, good, yeah, bit of a break, nice. No injuries, please. But who have we got out? We've the Brazil. Don't Brazil play tonight?
Yeah, Gabby and Gabby are in the Brazilian side.
Yeah. So that's a game I might be tempted to watch if I didn't have to get an early night because I'm a wage slave.
We've got Rice and MLS in England.
Declan Rice can play and play.
He's all right, yeah. Of course, Marino scored tonight, 83rd minute apparently.
I thought it was a night. For some reason, I saw it.
No, sorry, not 93rd minute. I saw. Yeah, not 90.
Yeah. But Nico Williams, who's very much back on everybody's radar. How do you feel about him? Is that a player that you want to see?
Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, last year I think he would have been an upgrade on Martinelli.
Yeah, he might still be. I mean, I mean, his performances in the internet. I think it's difficult. I would hope that our coaching network and everything around that is looking at this and thinking about data and metrics and what they're looking to work with. But if you base it on this season he's having, not good at all. And I worry about that. Is he the game changer? My memories of him were Spain in the Euros. He was outstanding on the other wing. But it's clear that he wants to play at Barcelona. It's clear that he doesn't really want to come to England. He would require a huge amount of money. I'm just a bit worried that we're going for the big names and not necessarily the players that fit our culture and our squad. Weers has gone over to... He's crossed over to Zuckerberg. Hi, Razor. Big up, Zanzi.
Apparently... says that Arsenal are keen on Maurice Keane of.
Oh yeah, I saw that. This one I put down to just another one of those stories because he's doing brilliantly right now. Obviously, he's had bad form over the last few years, but Fiorentina, he's on better than a goal a game. I think he's a right age profile to some degree. I don't know. I don't really buy it. Honestly, I'm not really convinced.
I had to have a look at that. At the moment, he's scored 20 goals in 34 games, which isn't bad.
Yeah, it's great. It's what he did at Everton that would worry me.
Yeah, 4 in 39.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, we're looking at that. Victor Gyökeres is another one of those. I don't know. Malia's saying that guys Calafiori might be injured, cauliflowery. Badly or what is that? Playing tonight? What happened?
Yeah, don't know. Not heard that.
Right, 2 big matches tonight. Welcome, by the way, Moss. What are the big matches ce soir? These are the Brazil. Who are they playing? Is it Colombia? Honestly, I am taking a break from football at the moment. Shall we see what Jerry's got to say for himself? Hardy's here.
Yeah.
Hello, Jerry.
All right.
Are you in chatty mood tonight?
I am, yeah.
What did you want to say about are you just here to gloat that Liverpool lost to Newcastle?
Yeah.
Not just that, no.
But it must have made you a bit happy.
It did. That made my day.
Do you think there's any chance that Liverpool could fall apart now?
Nah. They won the league.
Yeah. Fair play. Callahert 2, USA versus Panama starting soon. Is that a big game for anyone?
Who?
Ad slip and Calla was hurt. Odd slip and Calla was hurt. Holland, España 2-2, Hato red. Did see there was a red card. USA versus Panama, the big one. Canada versus El Tre Mexico in the home of Los Angeles Kroenke Stadium. How exciting. Unfortunately, I will be fast to kit by then, no doubt. Unless it's now. It wouldn't be, would it? So what else has been on your mind, Jerry, that you want to share with us all?
Oops. Nothing much, no. Just been doing things, watching
Good.
football.
What have you been watching?
Getting ready for the England game tomorrow. Hopefully we win.
Are you going to be watching the England game tomorrow?
Yep.
Why is it on a Friday?
I have no idea.
Why are we doing this to ourselves? It's like have a night off. Friday's a night off. I might be watching Andorra Latvia. That's the other game in the group. I've always followed Andorra. What is that noise? Have you got an alarm going or something? Are you playing a computer game? Are you playing Tetris?
No, that's my phone.
Zanzi, do you have an appropriate noise admonishing him for his
do I?
You've got to be DJ. You've got to be DJ with that. Mixing it about a bit. So, Jerry, tell me, how are you feeling now about Moyes coming back?
I'm kind of happy now because things are now kick into place. We won't be relegated this season. I can't see it. But yeah, I'm happy he's come back. Obviously, we've got Liverpool next and then Arsenal, so we've got tough games coming up.
I want to know. I mean, it's not. Listen, I don't. There is Zanzi. Before I speak on behalf of Arsenal fans across the country, I got to double check with you. Do you think there's any chance that Arsenal could win the league this season?
If Liverpool totally implode, yes, but then we've got to start winning our games, and I can't see that really possibly happening. Liverpool have got to implode, and they haven't yet.
Do you know what? That's it, isn't it? That is the most frustrating thing about it is I could see Liverpool lose their next two matches. I know they've got they're not the easiest matches. I mean, I did feel like that before, and then they went on and beat Newcastle pretty comfortably and went away to the Etihad and won pretty comfortably. So accept all that. But even if Liverpool at this point lose to Everton and Fulham, we still have to win both our games. And I don't feel at all confident. We've got, because Everton's the big decider, Jerry.
It is, yeah.
We play you, they play you, then we play you. So let us have some points. Do a Tottenham. Turn up in. Would you ever do that as an Everton fan? Would you ever turn up in an Arsenal kit and cheer on the Arsenal and hope that Everton lost to Arsenal so that we could win the league?
I literally will be an Arsenal side for that game. I literally want Arsenal to.
But would you wear an? I mean, but you sort of Tottenham.
No, I don't know. I wouldn't wear an Arsenal top because I haven't got one. But if I could,
let me ask you. You're there, but you're at. Let's say you're at the match.
Yeah, I would.
And Arsenal score. Would you cheer the goal?
Yeah.
So you're at an Everton Arsenal match.
Don't ever get kicked out.
I just could never do that. I never understood that. The Jose says Brazil versus Colombia in between those. That's the big one. That's the one I would watch. What time's that on? I mean, I'm never going to stay. I can't stay up and watch it.
About 1:45 in the morning.
It's ridiculous.
It's a shame we haven't got Tom from the Slags here, because then we can have Tom and Jerry on.
Isn't he doing a show on wrestling?
He's doing his wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe he'll join us afterwards.
But we could have that music. Start.
I'm surprised you haven't got that on your little Casio. So yeah, I'd watch that game. So let me try and clarify. Let's say you're at Goodison. It's one of the last times you ever go. Arsenal score a goal against Everton, and you cheer it. Would you?
Yeah, I would. If you guys could stop Liverpool in the league, That's
Does
what I
it
want you
matter
guys to
that
do, but I
much to
can't
you
see it
that
now.
Liverpool don't win the league? Does it
Yeah.
make that much of a
Like
difference?
I said to everybody, I don't care who wins the league as long as it's not Liverpool.
Zanzi, in an equivalent way, if well, stretching credibility in the realms of fantasy somewhat here, but if, let's say, for example, Everton were, I don't know, look, if you, all right, let me make it more realistic. Tottenham could win the league if we beat Everton. Would you? And it's at home, and Everton have come to the Emirates. And would you be? Is there any situation where you would cheer against Arsenal just to stop Tottenham winning the league?
No, I couldn't.
Just never. I've
Yeah.
never. I can't do it. I mean, I don't want them to win the league, but I want us to win every game. I thought it was really funny, right? What I thought was hysterical last year was Tottenham fans going, "Oh, we've helped stop you." It was like, no, you haven't. You gave us 6 points.
Yeah.
You gave them 4 points. You know what? Like, if you really want to stop us winning the league, beat us. That's 3 points off us. You know, like this whole we lost. You would have lost to City anyway. Sun Min Heung-min Son threw on goal. I don't think he missed that on purpose. He went for it. He just spanned it. He's Spurs, isn't he? He's used to be good. Now he's not. Hasn't been.
Yeah,
for
I
a
mean,
while.
it is like Gerrard and his sliding miss on the ball against Chelsea, wasn't it?
Mm.
And Chelsea went off and scored. I mean, do you
Yeah.
really think he was wanting to fall down?
No, of course not. But I think that there is an issue around playing in the stadium in front of your own fans. We know definitively that playing in front of your home fans adds to the team's ability to win. It gives the players an extra boost of testosterone. We know this now. It's not an opinion. We've seen this in COVID, and we know that playing in front of your own fans gives you a boost. But if your own fans are hoping you lose, is there a point at which Son is running on goal and is suddenly overthinking it? And had the fans all been behind him to get him to score a goal, might he have scored? Wouldn't have. I don't think he would have scored in any case. I think he was desperately trying to score. But that's the thing about Spurs. I've never seen that before or since. I'm surprised at you, Jerry. I would be really disappointed in you if you cheered against your own team. Just because, let's be honest, at this point, it's not like if Liverpool don't win the league, you're really close to each other, right? Liverpool are a dominant force of British football, a world elite club, and Everton are lovely. But you're not really in their shadow. You're not even, do you know what I mean? Like if it's a very long shadow that stretches around a corner, maybe. But Everton, you're not. Can't you just be happy that a Liverpool team has done well? Can't you just be happy, Scouts us together?
I'm kind of proud of them. Like they've done it. They made this far with a new manager. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp gone. But yeah, I'm happy they've done it.
Zanzi, on the subject of Arne Slot coming in, the narrative, lazy sports journalist narrative. Perhaps I'm guilty of watching too many of the wrong kind of YouTube channels. I'm really thinking TalkSport here. But the lazy narrative that, Arne Slot's coming in one season and done it. So this paints Arteta in a bad light. You having that?
I don't know what he's done with Liverpool, but they seem to be flying at the moment. It's just one of those things, I think.
I find it quite frustrating, if I'm honest. I think that you can, people. This is what I was talking about earlier. When you think about the Newcastle team, the great Newcastle team in the mid-90s, that was so exciting, had so many great games, particularly against Liverpool, and really looked like they were good. I mean, they were clear favourites to win at Christmas. I think it's 95, 96. And then signed Tino Asprilla, who only a couple of years before had been playing at Parma against us in the Cup Winners' Cup. An elite striker, should have been the difference maker, and it kind of fell apart for them. But that Geordie, the sensational fans, that just the energy that they brought to everything, it was different times. But they seem to have embraced that side romantically, and they were grateful for them. And Arsenal fans, certainly an element of Arsenal fans, seem to feel like second is a stain on our good name. Ryan from the Mr. Arsenal podcast is here. Bloody good to see you, sir. How are you doing? I'm really interested. I'd love to hear all your opinions in the comments. But Ryan, how do you feel about this? Like we are constantly being told that second isn't good enough, that we have done really badly to come second, that we haven't fulfilled our potential. I think the narrative probably more likely should be, wow, Mikel Arteta came along when we were dog shit, and now it's bad when we don't win the league. And there is a feeling, none of us know at this point if the Arteta era is going to end without the silverware we want him to. We are, of course, still in the Premier League and the Champions League, although the Premier League is all but gone and the Champions League is always going to be really difficult. But what is wrong with Arsenal fans, or the element of Arsenal fans that are so angry about what other clubs would be so happy about? I get when people say, oh, we're a big club, but what makes us a big club? Who said we're a big club? Surely to go from 8th, and they say the other narrative is, oh, he spent 750 million to... Yeah, but if you're if you were building a squad from scratch, if I said to you, look, how much money do you need to build a Premier League side that could finish second? I don't think you'd think 750 million pounds was a lot of money. So I'd love to hear...
I mean, if money at the moment won your stuff, then there's going to be Chelsea should be top, and we should be about 4th, I think, in the Premier League spending.
Yeah, Manchester United, Chelsea are both ahead of us. I think there is another.
Tottenham.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Tottenham has spent over 800 million, which is more than we've spent.
I like this, Jose. The anger is rooted in being a position to win and consistently squandering opportunity. I don't know if it's squandering. I think Man City are a generational team, and we came second to them, and that's shit. And this year we have not performed at a standard that we needed to. We've had predictable level of injuries, which we didn't prepare for. Don't feel like we've had transfer windows that were aimed at winning. So there are disappointments this season, but why anger? What do you mean anger? Like, who are you at? Why anger? Who you don't... Anger, I don't know. It just feels like anger is the only emotion at the moment. There's a very real feeling I have that the modern football fan is either just really angry, but there doesn't seem to be any joy in football anymore. Not even cup wins, though, in 5 years. Yeah, but that happens. That does happen. You're not guaranteed anything. We've had an FA Cup. What have Aston Villa won? Why aren't they screaming? What? Newcastle won a League Cup in 70 years, and they're crying. The champagne's flowing. Their fans seem to get football, I think, more than Arsenal fans do. I don't know what's happened. I think we are at the worst end of being a club that's attracted people to us because of our previous success, as though that was somehow likely to be going into the future. And it's been a long time, but we haven't squandered anything really. All this talk about how Arsenal's title challenge is embarrassing. If ours is, then how are people not pointing out that Aston Villa may not qualify for the Champions League? Unai Emery last season was a genius. I don't know. I don't feel like we have squandered it. But we have a team more than capable of winning some cups and leagues and have thrown it away under this manager. That's where I'm at. I don't know. He's the guy who put the team together. So that seems like a weird feeling to me. It seems strange to say, oh, he's built this entire team that's good enough, but he's squandered winning trophies. I can't think of anyone else that's done that and been accused. Literally, this is Arteta's squad. He's put it together. Jurgen Klopp had won the Champions League in the same amount of time as Arteta. I hear that. I think Jurgen Klopp's probably a better manager than Mikel Arteta. I think Pep Guardiola is a better manager than Arteta. I think what's going to be really interesting is to see what Pep Guardiola does now that he's got to rebuild a squad, because he's not really done that before. But I find it weird that we can be so angry. So we didn't win the league. Being the rebuilder only gets you so much credit. Well, it depends with who. It depends on with who. I think it only gets you so much credit. How long is that statement going to be used while not winning anything? I don't know. I'm not saying. But I think right now, this is the first season you could really say about Arteta that he hasn't shown progress. And there have been some mitigating factors. I don't understand why it's not okay to talk about that. Yes, some of them we might not have prepared properly, but I don't think Mikel Arteta goes out and spends the money. So I don't blame Mikel Arteta for not signing. It's a hell of a coincidence, isn't it? That Edu Gaspar leaves and we don't sign anyone after a really shit summer where we didn't sign who we wanted. And we have Arteta constantly saying he wants strikers. I think if you're going to give Arteta shit because he hasn't won anything, acknowledging that his squad is good enough to win something, then you have to give him the credit for building it. And then you have to see how long it takes. Maybe another year, maybe 2 years. I'm really grateful as an Arsenal fan that it isn't Arsenal fans deciding when Arteta goes. But I'm also really interested, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Is this what percentage of Arsenal fans actually want to see Arteta out? Because you hear the away fans singing his name, you hear the home fans singing his name. I think actually 70 to 80% of Arsenal fans are quite happy with Mikel Arteta. I'm happy with him because of the squad he's built. I'm not saying he's got endless lives. Could come a point next season if it starts. Look, there are criticisms. I just feel like in life at the moment, you're either in or you're out, and it's bullshit. There is a line, right? There's 100% Mikel Arteta out, which I find baffling, and then there's 100% Mikel Arteta in, which is just as baffling. Where all of us should be somewhere on that line between. Zanzi, from 0% Arteta in to 100% Arteta in, where would you put yourself?
At the moment, I'm still 100% Arteta. Well, all right, 99%, because apart from this season, he's been better every season.
Maybe
the
what I'll do is
prove it. The positions in the table prove it.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do for balance, unless you want to pop on, you are more than welcome, by the way. Jerry, I want to come to you because obviously getting a perspective of a fan outside, and I know he played for Everton. He wasn't a big, before, without that being a factor, do you look at it and think, yeah, Arteta needs sacking?
No, I think he's a decent manager. He needs to focus more on the games and focus on the tactics, all that stuff. And I think you guys can do it. Next season, I think you guys could win the league if you focus on the tactics and focus more on the games.
Yeah, I think that's. I think it's funny. I think and this isn't me back trying to put Everton down. I'm saying a lot of the problem I see with our fan base is that other people think that we are entitled, that we are, we feel like we're some sort of super club, and the fact he hasn't delivered us the Champions League or the league yet is unacceptable. And they look at us and laugh and go, you haven't won anything decent for 21 years. So why do you suddenly think he's going to come and do it? I think there is a thing there. You could get on here and have a debate with me. Otherwise, I'm going to debate Zanzi and I'm going to try and take up a devil's advocate position. Come on, if you've got the minerals, Bristol, let's have a bit of you.
I will say this now, though. When Arteta first came, I didn't want him to come because he's not managed a side.
Yeah, I didn't either. Like, I can put it down to the game against Chelsea on Boxing Day, going into that game just thinking we're going to get creamed by these. We're going to get battered. And luckily, he had to play Smith Rowe, Martinelli and Saka. And we suddenly got this rejuvenation. So I don't think that Arteta gets it right all the time. Far from it. I think if he plays Mourinho up front again, I'll cry. I mean, that game against Chelsea was pretty boring. And there's no need for it to be this boring. It could be better. I'm not quite at the stage where I want to throw in Butler Oyedeji because he scored a couple of goals in the under-21s. But, we can all have our criticisms of Arteta. I don't think he's perfect. But 100% Arteta out, for me, is a little bit extreme. It's just extreme. And I don't know why you'd be so against the person. But I take Jose's point here. I appreciate where he's gotten us, but it gets to a point where how do we get over the line? Yeah, that's fair. I do. I think, but maybe we don't. Maybe we don't get over the line. Winning the Premier League is something that very few teams do.
I think half of winning, but getting over the line, is to have someone above Arteta, like Berta, if he comes.
Yeah,
when he comes. Yeah.
Yeah, if and when, yeah.
Saying to Arteta, right, these are 4 strikers. Which two do you want? And I'll get them for you.
Yeah.
So it's about getting a striker. I mean, to be honest, for 4 years we've not had a bloody striker.
It is ridiculous. I love the fact that he gets so much blame for that as well. You know, I really don't see how it can be Mikel Arteta's fault that, you know, Richard Garlick, Edu Gaspar, Jason Ato, and the entire team of scouts and negotiators. There's something like 20 people in Richard Garlick's negotiating team. That all of them are exonerated from not going out and signing Victor Osimhen. But Mikel Arteta, who is busy doing other things, I hope, is to blame. And you hear this a lot. Well, he's vetoed players. I don't think he did. I think he would have vetoed. I don't think that he wanted Sterling. I think Edu Gaspar's comments are quite revealing on that. They went for Sterling because he was available, and Arteta was like, "Yeah, all right, then go on." And if that's all you've got, you know, if you send someone to get you a burger and they come back with just chips, you'll eat the chips, but you're not really happy about it. So 100% Arteta in, says Carles, good to see you. I'm standing by the fact I don't think it needs to be this binary. I don't think it needs to be Arteta in, Arteta out. I wouldn't say I'm 100% Arteta in, and I wouldn't say I'm 100% Arteta out ever, I don't think. I think I look at teams like Bayern Munich struggling to get a new manager in, and I don't want any part of that. I look at Man United's revolving door of managers, and I don't want any part of that. I look at Tottenham bringing in manager after managers. A lot of rumours that Pochettino's on his way back. I just feel as though the entitlement around our club. I mean, we're in the Champions League quarterfinals against Real Madrid. We will most likely, the probability is a 75% chance we lose that game. I acknowledge that, but we're there. We're in that conversation. Who else is? I mean, Unai Emery, 1 season in the Champions League. He won't be there again next season. So, you know what? Look at that. AJ's here. Great to see you, sir. Here we go. If you wanted an Emperor burger but got a cheeseburger, you would suck it up for that moment. I just wonder if someone offers to go and get you dinner and they come back with a cheeseburger but you wanted an Emperor burger, you should kind of shut up. I mean, we were 8th. We were going nowhere. It was miserable. It was terrible. We were doing worse than Everton when Arteta came in. Everton were top 4. We were nowhere near it. This manager, there's only one AI Luca, and he lives here.
I have to admit, if I wanted a KFC and the missus came back with sausage and chips, I'd look at her and think, "Excuse me, what's this? This does not look like chicken to me."
That this manager, this board, this chicken fried rice. No, I know, I get it. Listen, but I just think it's so difficult for me to understand the anger. Why they're so angry? You know, we're so close to winning something. Yeah, but this is what it's like being a fan. You've got to suck it up, man. It's what being a fan is. You can be all, I'm wanting a trophy. That's not what being a fan is. Go and talk to Wigan fans. You know what I mean? Like, what do real fans do? Everton, what was the last thing you won in Everton as an Everton fan?
Can't remember. It's been a long time.
Wasn't it like must be the FA Cup in the 90s?
Way before I was born.
There you go. So why are you an Everton fan? It must drive you absolutely mad. Don't you?
It does.
You've had Carlo Ancelotti, for God's sakes. Carlo Ancelotti was your manager. Can't you win something with Carlo Ancelotti?
Look.
Mr. Arsenal Podcast is here to reveal that I thought it was 95 FA Cup, wasn't it, against Man United? Didn't they beat United? Am I imagining that? Long time ago now, right? So why aren't you angrier? Why aren't you angry?
I'm hoping David Moyes does something. I'm hoping David Moyes.
Hoping he win. You don't really think he's going to win
next season. I'm hoping he does something for Everton.
Does something as in?
Not with the Premier League, obviously. Like probably win a cup.
Right, but Everton are a massive club. Why aren't you angry? It's your standards are too low. It's actually Jerry. I know you weren't born, but it's your fault.
Maybe it's going to be a new stadium which does it for you.
Probably.
We can go about individually as we please. We have different approaches to sporting. Yeah, I totally agree. The world has changed. I'm saying that when I started supporting Arsenal, this wasn't the way it was done. We used to get a lot of shit from other fans. At the moment, we are hated in a way I don't think we've ever been hated before. I don't really get it. Listen, you support football however the hell you want, man. If you want to be angry all the time, do it. I just don't get if that's the way that football. I don't think anyone's going to be happy supporting a team that way. All these people that just started supporting Man City recently, I think they're in for a really long, tough time coming up, because I think they're going to go through a few years. Maybe they'll win the FA Cup this season, but they're going to go through the down period that every team does, like Man United did at the end of the third year, or like we did at the middle of the Wenger era. If you want to be angry, be angry. I'm just saying, like, when did that become a part of football?
You know, what's weird is, but when I was sort of following Carlisle United with the X, I'd speak to some of the old Carlisle fans, and they'd be there, and I'd say, you know, what was it like when you were in the first division? Then he says, we were actually top of the table once, you know, because they got quite a sort of Geordie accent. He says, but we knew we were going to go down anyway. And that was it. And they did.
What do people think happens at other teams? I don't see the anger. I can't understand the anger. If you're angry, and I'm not suggesting you are, Jose, or any of you, but I do see the angry ones. I see the angry YouTubers, and I think maybe go out for a walk, do something. Why is not wanting this manager in charge make people? I didn't say it does. I said I'm referring to people I see who are angry. Why can't it just be no happy with style and tactics, want something different? You can do what you like. I'm not talking about you, Jose. If you you have your opinions, I understand those. You've been very eloquent about explaining them. You feel that Mikel Arteta has a squad and doesn't know how to manage it over the line. Okay, not disagreeing with you. I'm saying I don't feel that way, and we can happily disagree. But leaving you to one side for a moment, because you're obviously not ranting and raving, but you have seen the people ranting and raving, haven't you? Do I need to pull some of them up? The anger, the vitriol, this manager, right? You've seen it. Where's it come from? Who's it good for? What's it serve? What's the point of it? Can't we all just have football be for me, it boils down to, why are you a football fan? Why be a football fan if it makes you angry and it ruins your evening and it ruins your week and your season's gone to shit and you're miserable all the time? What's the point? Do something else.
So something funny happened is when Carlisle actually won the old fourth or second division, whatever it is now. We actually won it, and on the very last day, we'd already won it, and we played at home to Lincoln City. So we went up because the missus's parents still are there. We went to the match. Lincoln was stuffing us to a point they're 4-0 up, and the Carlisle fans are singing, "We want 5, we want 5, we want," to the Lincoln fans so that they could get a fifth goal. And when Lincoln scored, we cheered.
Yeah, I mean, I do love that element of football. I think Jose makes a really good point here. And before that, AJ was saying, "I swear, League One." He clearly does. But this is, I think, one of the best points. I think they do it for YouTube and views. It's not real or genuine, in my opinion. It's borderline entertainment like wrestling. I totally agree with that. I do think I've never been into wrestling, but I do think that there is showbiz about it. There is an element of, you can't just sit there and go, "Well, that was a bit disappointing." You have to go, "Disgrace, this man," and all of that. And I understand it, and it makes it more theatrical. But I think this interaction, I think like people like us, like Jose, if you and I were talking about this in a pub, we'd probably get bored of talking about it. You go, "I don't think he's going to take us over the line." I'd go, "Yeah, he might not be the right man, but I wouldn't sack him just now." And neither of us get to decide, so we just put up with it, and we'll still watch the matches, hoping for a 7-1, hoping for a great performance. Glad that we keep beating Chelsea. Disappointed that he keeps putting Mourinho up front, even though Mourinho suddenly found his scoring boots and is outperforming Timo Werner. I don't know. Although after seeing how alcohol isn't allowed in the stands, I can see there being a broader anger management problem. I think it's a sign. My own personal opinion is a sign of an individualistic society where so much of this seems to be a reflection on those people. I joined Arsenal to belong to something. I didn't join Arsenal so that they would reflect my glory to the world. You know, I wasn't like, I'm an Arsenal fan and that makes me great. I was like, I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm an Arsenal fan. What I love about being an Arsenal fan more now than even then was how big the world has gotten of Arsenal fans, right? We've got Arsenal fans from everywhere, North Carolina, from Canada, you know, from Indonesia's got like 1 million Arsenal fans. I just love it. I think, you know, all over the world, Brazil, huge. I mean, I may stay up tonight and watch a Brazil-Colombia game because it's brilliant. But the fact that Brazil and Argentina have loads of Arsenal fans is amazing to me. I think it's a unifying and enjoyable experience, and I think we're all pissed off if we lose. We're all pissed off with this season. I'm pissed off with the lack of activity in the transfer window. It irritates the crap out of me that we've had some bad decisions with VAR. I don't think it all comes down to the bad decisions with VAR. I really don't. I think it's just another shit thing that happened this season. I absolutely detest the fact that we played Saka into the ground for 3 years and then we were like, oh, he's injured. Oh, you know, we literally thought he was made of granite. I hate all of that. I hate the fact that in Arteta's entire period at Arsenal, we've signed 2 forwards, one of whom is Gabby Jesus, who basically has a knee that's held together with like Pritt stick, which by the way is a fantastic glue, and I will recommend for any of your paper sticking needs. Pritt stick, unofficial unsponsors of. Now that I'm not drinking, that's what we're up to. I hate a lot about this season. It's been a damp squib. We didn't start well enough. I don't know if losing 4 players was a good way to start the season. Everything's gone a bit meh, but I can still enjoy the run-in. I am going to enjoy the Real Madrid game, even if we get battered by them.
I have to put you up on that because we actually started off quite well because we beat Villa. And I think everything
it wasn't a great start to the season.
No, but everything imploded when we drew with Brighton. And
yeah,
I got sent off.
But that's true. But the Villa game was good. Our away form was good. Our home form wasn't particularly brilliant. And we weren't clicking into gear. We didn't last year either, but we came good in the second half in a way that we're just not going to this time. So, yeah, I mean, but that's fair enough. If you feel like we had a really good... For me, it felt a little bit the start of the season. But Carl S. has said, everything these days is polarized to extremes, no nuance. That's how I feel. That is exactly how I feel. I feel like in a conversation between sort of grown-ups like we have in here, Jose makes his point, I make my point, you make your point. We all appreciate and listen to each other's opinions without becoming ad hominem, angry, shouting at each other, because I can say without fear of contradiction that although I wouldn't sack Arteta right now, I'm still not convinced that he's going to win us the Premier League. And I feel like I can understand where some people might just be able to see the future better than me. I might just not be able to see it as clearly. Or I didn't want to sack Wenger either. I think loyalty means a lot to me, probably more than it would do if silverware was more important to me. If silverware was the everything in my life, I might now be feeling differently. Maybe it's because I've seen 5 league titles. I don't discount that. I've lived through 5 league titles, so I'm okay that we didn't win it this year. I'm gutted about it. But I think if I'd never seen one and I'd wanted all of that time just to see us win one and I'd waited 21 years, maybe it'd be different. But everything is polarized these days. And I don't think that most intelligent people are at the margins. I don't think anyone is 100% this or 100% that. I think you have to be open-minded and nuance is important. Football is a global brand with teams becoming business entities rather than football clubs. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I definitely think I can't believe the rebranding of Chelsea. Chelsea used to be, well, awful. And now it's a global brand. I mean, they're a laughing stock, but they are a global brand. Football has become that. But at its heart, it's still community. At its heart, it still brings us together. It unifies us. And I'm delighted that it's popular enough to spread around the world. It makes, whenever you go away some far-flung part of the world and you see an Arsenal shirt, it's always going to make you smile, you know. Been that way for a while now. Ordinary people priced out the stands years ago. Yes, absolutely. Many years ago. It was happening when I was going. He signs misfits, in my opinion. Who does? Who signs misfits? Arteta signs misfits. I don't know. I don't agree. I definitely don't. Well, no, I don't agree. I'd quite like him to sign a few more super egos, but I think what Zanzi, what you were saying earlier, is like, I want an Andrea Berta to go, right, here's your striker. You can choose between this one and this one, but we're signing one of these two. He persists with the same formation and playing style down to tactics. He's too one-dimensional. I agree with that as well. I do agree with that. I can't see how you would disagree with that, to be honest with you. That's when we don't have three forwards. To play three forwards, to me, seems a little bit stubborn. Zanzi, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, what would we have been like if none of our players had been injured?
Yeah, but that reminds me of the Gino. You know, if my aunt had, with my aunt, if
Being your uncle, yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like, I think we should have had some inkling that we were going to come up with a season full of injuries. I mean, Bukayo Saka, we've all said it for years now. You know, you've got to give him a rest. He played him. I remember when we beat Villa at their place with that lovely 2 goals in extra time. The Zinchenko's first goal and the Jorginho own goal off of Martinez.
Yeah. Martinez, yeah.
And there was about 8 minutes before the end, before the 90 minutes were up. Bukayo Saka got absolutely poleaxed, and I thought I'll just take him off, and he left him on, and he finished the game really strongly. It's like at some point we've just been sold the idea that, you know, and I've heard Arteta talking about it as well, saying, you know, good players should be able to play 40 games a season. Go, yeah, maybe they should, but I've always said if you had a racehorse, you wouldn't race it every 2 days. You'd probably let it rest a bit to get the best performance out of it. Anyone seen Sol on the Stick to Football show today? No, I saw a tiny clip of it. I have a bit of a problem watching Sol Campbell. I feel like he's a bit of an unkind fellow, like a bit of a, you know, stop rubbing it in Tottenham's noses now. Could just be a bit more humble. Oops, shouldn't have said that. I feel like I'm in the twilight zone at the moment, so close yet so far. Yeah, it is bloody irritating. I mean, you can't deny it. It's one of them. It's like we're all, I don't know. Is this setting us up for a fantastic Champions League achievement? The fact that none of us really believe. I mean, what was the atmosphere like at home to Chelsea? Didn't feel like it was. I mean, I wasn't there, so I can't know, but it's tough. It's a tough, like when there's 10 games to go, it's tough that we've run out of steam. There's no way we can do it. And there's still 9 games you've got to play. And now all we can worry about is, we don't want to drop a couple of points and end up 3rd or 4th. But I'm not sure I care at this point if we finish 3rd or 4th. Marino scoring a 90th minute equaliser for Spain today does give me more hope coming up against Real Madrid. I hope he isn't playing. Well, you know, I suppose you're right. I hadn't even thought about it. Where was he playing for Spain, though? Because I'm guaranteeing he wasn't up front. What really wound me up about his goal against Chelsea is he didn't have to be playing up front to score that.
Yeah, it was from a corner.
Just play someone else up front. I don't know. There are other people we'll try a different formation. I think what you said earlier, Jose, is like we do the same formation even when we haven't got the players for it. It's like he's making a point to the board. So look, this is what's going to happen if you don't sign me someone. But, and there will be so much time over the coming transfer window to talk about this, unless somehow we get our business done early in the transfer window, which would be a welcome and refreshing break from our normal business. But who are these global superstar strikers that we might bring in? I mean, it is Alexander Isak, Victor Osimhen, Gyökeres, Ekitike now, maybe. I'd like to see Ekitike come in. I don't know.
Who?
You're going to see him play against Spurs. He's the Frankfurt forward. He's doing really well in the Bundesliga. Benjamin Šeško played tonight and didn't score. I watched Benjamin Sesko play for Leipzig against Dortmund. Wasn't a great game. Leipzig did win. Dortmund a toilet at the moment. Talk about drop-off. Talk about disaster. And he didn't look that great. It's just another game I've seen Benjamin Sesko, and I think, yeah, he's got potential. He left him on for the full 90 minutes. Openda came off. Who are we signing? Who's transformative? I think when I looked at the Leipzig team, Xavi Simons, I know we were linked with him in summer. That's the sort of player I'd like. Maybe our problems aren't striker, you know. Maybe our problems are creative midfielder. I'd love to hear your opinions on that.
Who have we got who's creative if we take Skipper off?
And I don't think he's been that creative this season.
Yeah. But he's our only creative midfielder.
So is it the thing with Odegaard? Yeah, and you're right. Well, Nwaneri, I suppose, if Saka's back. But if the question on that is Odegaard not creative enough, or is it no one making any runs ahead of him?
Well, yeah, that is half the problem because we don't have a striker, and we don't have the striking force that we used to have.
Well, yeah, that's for Alan Smith.
Yeah.
He does. Colas is saying that Sol does explain his beef with Spurs in it. I hadn't heard it before. I will watch it. Actually, I'm really interested. I'm glad you said that. I can't imagine what he's going to say. I mean, I have seen a documentary where he talks about how he was being messed around by Tottenham, but he just wanted to win things. You know, I don't hate him for it. Declan Rice left West Ham after that wonderful Conference League win, and fair play to him. I think Madrid low block against us. Our defense is good, and we'll get space to play. I think of the two teams, I wanted Atletico because I thought, well, actually, I don't. Maybe Real Madrid is a better team. I just think, wouldn't it be fantastic if we do beat Real Madrid now that no one gives us a chance? Here we go. Jose has come up with some names, good names. Cliver, Embuemo, Reinders. He played tonight as well. Jonathan David is on a free. Yes. There's three attackers and a creative attacking midfielder. Do you want three attackers? Does that include a wing? Right. So, that hard not to. We definitely need a defensive midfielder. We're definitely going to need a goalkeeper. We definitely need at least two forwards. So three would be ideal. And an attacking midfield. I would like to see us break the bank for Florian Wirtz. I'd love to see us go and spend 200 million on him. A player who is transformative, who you turn up to watch, like who does that in the Arsenal team if Saka's not there? Who is the player that you would, like the Bergkamp or the Henry or the Lundberg or Pires, someone you just go, it's worth the price of admission to watch him play. Declan Rice is great, but he's not that. He's not that kind of player. Our back four is immense. I think Jurrien Timber is player of the season, and I can't imagine anyone would disagree with me. Zanzi, who's your player of the season?
There's certainly going to be someone in the back. There's going to be one or three. It's going to be either Gabby, Saliba, or Timber. And at the moment, I think probably you're right. Timber,
I think our wall at the
back,
our wall at the back, I could see it being him because of his goal contributions. Where would we be without him? But for me, it's Jurrien Timber. Came back from a cruciate ligament injury, played every match. He's been immense for us. And when he gets up the field, I think he looks good. There's a typical Dutch Ajax school of, total football. I love him. I love some of these suggestions. Cliver, I don't see coming. Embuemo, I could see. Reinders, I could see, I think. Not sure. He scored tonight as well, didn't he, Reinders? And Jonathan David, 100%. We know Miss Molina and Moss will appreciate that. And he is on a free. I wonder who's really after him. Cole, were you saying Nwaneri as your player of the season? Because if you were, he's the one. When I was thinking about this earlier today, I was thinking, who's my player of the season? It was between. My first instinct was Timber. I must admit, Zanzi, since you said Gabby, kind of moved towards Gabby a little bit. But Nwaneri is a breakthrough season. It's been brilliant, hasn't it? doesn't get a lot better if you're 17, does it? And Jose's saying I'd even bring in Gibbs White. I think Gibbs White's having a fantastic season. I could see that. There's a couple of players like, so it was a transformative player of the season. Yeah, okay. Wanyeri, I think we will enjoy one. Yes, so Wanyeri might be, maybe not just yet, but might be the player in the next couple of years where you go, I'd turn up and watch him. We've only seen him playing off the right. I don't think that's his best position by a distance.
No, because he plays more Odegaard's play. Odegaard's position, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, when I watched him in the youth, in the under-21s, he when I watched him in the under-18s as well, like he's always played through the middle. But Kozia Dubry was on the right. So Luis Diaz, would you bring in Luis? Do you know what? One of the best games of football I've seen in the last 2 years was Luis Diaz. The day his dad had been released, it was obviously taken hostage by the cartel and ransomed. And it was the Brazil-Colombia game in Colombia. And Luis Diaz was immense. He was everywhere. I love watching South American football because they run with the ball so much. But I haven't seen any of that from him playing for Liverpool. I've never seen a game like that since. I think Wanyeri and MLS are my gems of the season, but Gabriel Magalhaes is my... Yeah. I think, Zanzi, I think you saying Gabriel, it does make me think... Yeah, okay. Do you know what? I'm going to switch my choice from Jurrien Timber to our wall at the back is Gabriel. So, yeah.
I mean, Saliba's great. Timber's great. But there is something about Gabby. His leadership at the back is just immense, I think.
Centre back, he'll give you hell. Our wall at the back is Gabriel. I love it. I mean, listen, I can't say enough good things about him. I love that when he came to the club, he had an error in him, messed up a lot. He's come through it. You know, his hairline's grown back. I mean, this is incredible. This is a miracle. This should be, there should be statues built to him just for that. Me too. Gabriel is my... Yeah, I think we're getting there, I think I've definitely come round. But I think we'd all agree Jurrien Timber gets a special mention and Miles Lewis-Skelly and Wanyeri for just coming out. I mean, Miles Lewis-Skelly is going to be one of my favourite players for years to come.
Did you ever see the interview that Saliba did? And they said, "But what do you think of Gabriel?" He says he's really good. He just talks too much. I thought that was brilliant. That
Saliba's one of my favourites. I mean,
yeah.
I love this comment here by Miss Molina. So tell Saudi to F off. He's not for sale. I don't think 100 million's enough anyway. He's too young. Why would you go? No. Brazil, Colombia on soon. Great. Well, I will put that on for my own amusement. Maybe
an hour's time, isn't it?
Is it an hour, is it?
Yeah. It's quarter to one.
Luco ran out of steam. Who's Luco? Do we know? Let us know who Luco is. Tell Saudi to F off. I've already done that one. The Bozo gene became the captain gene. Yeah, that's such an irritating, wanky thing to say about your own team, isn't it? When Lee Gunner says, the Bozo gene. Mate, you're the one sat in your pea-smelling dressing gown drinking beer at 3 PM. You want to talk about genes? Yeah, I have a feeling that his genes got into the pool when the lifeguard wasn't watching. Right on, Mel. Right on, Mel. And worst player, Neto. Neto. If I'm Neto, I'm going, what the fuck have I done? I mean, I played one game, so I threw the ball at their... Okay. Don't yawn. Jerry, get some sleep, man. Go and get some sleep. You can't be sat here yawning. It's bad enough if you don't say anything.
Charles, don't wait.
What? Yeah, well, Luis Diaz's nickname is Luca. Gotcha. Now I get it. Okay. Run out of steam. I get it now. Yeah, so I really like him. I don't want him at Arsenal. I really like him. I don't want him at Arsenal. And same with Darwin Nunez, by the way. I take Cody Gakpo if he's going. I would have Cody Gakpo in. Diogo Jota, I don't think I'd take right now. Underrated Thomas Partey. Miss Molina, you know what? I think you've said this before. Underrates very hard to get an idea of how good Thomas Partey's season's been when he's spent 6 games playing as a bloody right back. I think we can all agree he's no right back. You know, like he just
I think Arteta might say something different about that.
Well, he can disagree with me, but he is definitively and categorically wrong on that one. Like
Absolutely, 100%.
He's played there 7 times and we've lost 6 of those games. Please join me in welcoming, and hopefully this will stop you yawning, Miss Molina.
Good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening.
Queen of Arsenal has arrived.
We're
Thank
back
God.
with another boring international break.
I don't mind it. I'm enjoying the break, honestly.
Really?
I've got, I don't know if it's
You
life
really
is,
enjoying the break, Dan?
yeah, I really am. Well, what do you like? I'm not in a rush to get to the Real Madrid game. If they said, "Oh, can we play in May?" I'd be like, "Yep, definitely. Saka might be fit for then." I don't want Saka rushed back for the Real Madrid game, and I don't think we've got a chance without him.
I read somewhere that he might make the bench for Fulham. I think that's BS.
It's, you know what? It's like none of us know, but it does feel a bit BSy. I mean,
No.
it does.
I kind of agree with your point, and big up Zanzi and Jerry. I kind of agree with your point because there was one season, and I think it was 2 or 3 seasons ago, correct me if I'm wrong, we brought Thomas Partey back sooner than expected, and he went down injured again. Now, you can say the difference is Thomas Partey's much older, an injury-prone player. When he came to Arsenal, at Atletico Madrid, he was rarely injured. The minute he put on the Arsenal kit, man, we're plagued with injuries. With regards to Saka, he's had the same injury as Reece James, who avoided surgery for several seasons at Chelsea, and you can see he spends more time in the hospital room than on the pitch. And I'm not saying that to take the mickey out of him. It's just the truth. And I don't want that to happen to Saka. I don't want him to his career to be hindered, or we've seen it happen to great players at Arsenal before where injuries took over their career.
Oh God,
So I understand that.
We've seen it happen to the very best of the best. Santi Cazorla. I mean, like, God, they couldn't mess up an injury worse than that.
Musician.
He nearly had to have his foot amputated. I mean, that's how bad that went. I love your point. I think Partey, when he was, there is something in that though, when teams sell someone. And I read the autobiography of the data specialist who transformed Liverpool, and they were talking about how they kind of knew when they sold Torres that he was running into injury problems long term. So I wonder if Atletico Madrid had a feeling like that about Thomas Partey. I don't know, but I think with there is a body of evidence now that says that if you play very young and you play a lot of minutes before a certain age, that you create long-term problems.
We've mismanaged him without,
he's like Pep Guardiola would never have given him this many minutes. Never gives anyone this many minutes, and I think that's something that we are coming. And I hope, and I 100% agree with you. As much as I want to get past Real Madrid, I don't want to do it at the possible expense of Saka's long-term fitness.
I agree with you.
I think if we can get past Real Madrid, like we at the moment, a solid performance, a tough to beat. I don't listen. Also, so much of this is driven by the lazy narrative, isn't it? Well, Real Madrid are just brilliant. Have you been watching them play? They're not playing brilliantly. They didn't roll over Atletico Madrid. They're not winning every game in style. So they're not top of the. I know it's churlish. I know it's silly because they're a game more played than Barcelona and they're level on points, but they lost to Real Betis. They did lose that game to Atletico Madrid. I feel as though we can beat them even without a front line. Martinelli will be fit. Look, Trossard should be fit. Wanyeri, we've got options. I just don't think we should risk Bukayo Saka. Gravenberch, good evening. And did you see that Harry Kane said about Tuchel? I have to say though,
There was sorry, Dan. There was a game I went to. I can't remember. Maybe it was the North London Derby. Oh no, it was Bayern last season when Kane was in the team. They kept chanting, "Harry Kane, you speak with the lisp." Football fans come up with the craziest chants.
it is just yeah.
And back
like-
then it was a lot worse. It could be cancelled now for those chants.
Yeah, definitely hate crimes now, aren't they? I'm glad we got Real Madrid to see how we get on against the best team in the world with the players we got. Really fair point. I don't think you can argue with the fact Real Madrid are the best team in the world. I think that's a fair comment. And listen, why would you want to be in the Champions League and not play Real Madrid? It's probably the best time to play them as well because it's the quarterfinals. And I mean, the semis are just too dark if you lose those. It's too sad. The finals, just the worst. So, yeah, quarterfinals, Real Madrid. I can feel the narrative building already. Last year we went out to Bayern. This year we went out. He'll never get us over the line. And it's like, we probably won't. You know, I'm not sure any Arsenal manager. We need an Arsenal manager. Let's say we get rid of Arteta or he goes off, like he gets poached by Real Madrid, which would be so funny on one level, wouldn't it? For Lee Gunner, it would just be so brilliant. Obviously, I think I'd be gutted, but then someone else comes along, and it's probably not someone we'd expect, like an Arnie Slot type of thing, and just wins everything, just cleans up and goes, yeah, it's really
the guy before the guy, the stepping stone.
Yeah. Maybe that's Arteta's destiny.
That was like Claudio Ranieri.
Yeah, well, yeah. Maybe it's Ranieri that comes back. Maybe it's Fabregas.
We need an unheard of like Wenger was. I mean, when he came to us, everyone was saying, "Who?"
Yeah, we were because English football fans didn't know him. Did not watch La Liga. I mean, let's not. He'd almost won Ligue 1 with Monaco. I mean, he did have the likes of Thierry Henry and George Weah playing for him. It wasn't like he was a complete novice and he just went up. He hadn't come from Japan. He just went to Japan because he was sick of how corrupt Marseille were. Having said that, yeah, I totally agree with you. We need a manager that no one thinks will be any good that turns out to be great. But isn't that what everyone's after? Haven't Man United been trying to do that with Solskjaer and Eric Ten Hag?
So many managers. You know, when we got Wenger, who else was in contention for the job? Does anybody know?
Yeah, God, I lived it. Yeah. There was talk about Cruyff. It never really came to anything. Wow. Terry Venables was talked about. That was another one that was potentially possible around that time.
Well, we're in that Cruyff school of football now. The Caps.
I think this is a real pet subject of mine, by the way. The whole kind of the adaptation of Cruyff's style by Pep Guardiola is a very different type of football. I mean, Guardiola's style of football is quite cavalier at times, but it's very regimented, and Cruyff's was not. Cruyff was all about individuals. It was vertical, but it was all about possession. I'll take that. But famously, Cruyff wanted his keeper to come out and play like a sweeper keeper. And one of his team said, well, what happens if we lose the ball? And he was like, well, then we concede a goal. He didn't care about conceding. He wanted to score goals. And I think you can't really see. I mean, you can see Pep Guardiola in Arteta's system, but you can't extrapolate that all the way back to Cruyff. The Cruyff era, Cruyff, by the way, for all that his completely revolutionized football, didn't really work. He wasn't as successful as Pep Guardiola. He wasn't a huge success at Barcelona. Obviously, he rebuilt the club in his own image, and so it's like a stupid thing to say, but he wasn't there that long. He didn't make it that long. I think Louis van Gaal was the opposing idea, and that was very rooted and structured. And I actually think you could probably trade, even though Arteta is clearly hugely influenced by the possession-based school.
Yeah,
the Louis van Gaal approach is really there to see in Arteta. That kind of there's nobody's more important than the team. There's no superstars. We play very rigidly. We know what we're doing. We're well drilled. We play defensively. We control the game. We don't concede. That's not the swashbuckling Cruyffian football. But I think that is all coming to an end. I think possession football is coming to an end. I don't think it's... When I look at the teams that excite me now, if I'm watching Nottingham Forest or Bournemouth, I'm like, yeah, let's what they don't care about not having the ball. They just, when they get it, they try and move quickly with it. And that, for me, it'd probably be more exciting watching Arsenal play like that. I think on some level, I know, Zanzi, we've talked about this quite recently. When we played against Man City, when we go down to 10 men, we don't have an out ball. We don't play good counter-attacking football. We've had a third of the counter-attacks that Liverpool have had, and they're winning the league. So I think it would be nice to see us embrace a different approach. I don't know if Arteta's got that in him, and I think Jose would agree with me on that. Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Valverde, Rudiger, Camavinga, these are elite players, and we're up against the greatest team in the world. Yeah, there's, and then there's the players who can't get in that side, who are the Gula, who I'd be really happy to take off their hands. Endrick, who I wouldn't hate. Like if we took those two off them, yeah, this is what you want. You want to go up against. You want the Knights in front of the best teams. I'm glad, but then I would have still. Yeah, we all feel like that, don't we? We're all glad it's Real Madrid. Melina, you're happy we're playing Madrid, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, as I said last time I was on here, it doesn't get any better than the best of the best, and that's Real Madrid.
Although I have a sneaky feeling this year is Paris Saint-Germain's year.
To win it? Wow.
Yeah, I do.
PSG versus who? Barca?
Well, I don't see it being Bayern. Barca would probably make the most sense to me.
How come you're writing off? Well, I get it. Injuries.
How comes I'm writing off Bayern?
Yeah.
Oh man, like I tell you why, because I watched the highlights of the Bochum game. I'm like, you can't be losing to Bochum.
Yeah, Bochum.
Like I mean, I know that the league's done. I know it's all. Listen, I've lost a lot of love for Bayern. I just have.
Come support Leo. We have Jonathan Dave.
In German football at the moment, I think I've tipped. It's also, listen, I've always been a Bayern fan.
Yeah,
but St. Pauli have never really been around, and now they're around and they're staying up. And you know what?
Have something entertaining to watch.
Yeah, although it is a little bit dull watching St. Pauli, but like this is just the season to stay up, and they'll be better. And a friend of a friend actually plays for them. He's not getting any game time. So yeah, it's hard. I mean, like, that's what it's like when you've got a second team. Bayern's always been my second team. I think they've won too much, and I got bored of them. And
it's going to be interesting how the fans react if we do lose to Real Madrid, because when we lost to Bayern Munich last year, I was quite hopeful the way we were playing that we'd beat them.
Should have beaten them. I thought we'd beat them. They were crap last year. I mean, there's no excuse for losing that tie at all.
Yeah,
but we didn't have injuries. We weren't like we just didn't turn up at the Allianz.
Oh, we were so bad, Dan.
I know, and like it wasn't great at the Emirates, but at least we had the penalty that should have been. But it wasn't bad, but there were a couple of times under Arteta, there are just times where our teams just seem to turn up and the occasion gets to them, or they forget to start playing, or they're running through toffee. They're not playing well, and that Bayern game was one of those. And so we went out to what I think of as an inferior team to us. Now against Real Madrid, that can't happen. If we get beaten 6-0, if it's a 10-2 aggregate, then that's going to be bad.
That's going to be humiliating.
When was the last time a team scored 3 against us? We did this last time, didn't we?
Yeah, I think 2022, you said.
So I don't think that's going to happen. But I still think, look, there is an element of the fan base who, as Jose was saying, I think for clicks and for razzmatazz and views and whatever, that want to make everything a massive problem and massive issue, and it's all terrible and everything's gone to shit. And I don't think that's the reality. I think we all want to just see a good game against Real. Imagine if it goes to penalties.
Oh, my heart would be in my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
It
the thing
was
also.
Southampton
Yeah, 3-3, yeah.
3-3 after being 2-0 down after about 20
10
minutes,
minutes,
15 minutes,
yeah.
wasn't it? Something like that.
Well, luckily, Zinchenko had his impromptu huddle that was just embarrassing. I mean, there's nothing worse, is there? Don't do. I mean, everyone does a huddle before the game now. Enough.
Yeah.
That's what the dressing room is for. I don't want to see you huddling.
And they do it as soon as they come out the pitch for the second half as well.
I know, it's just getting so ridiculous. You might as well do it every time there's a kickoff or a free kick or something. Just like quick huddle. I love you guys. And for the Liverpool, I heard Virgil van Dijk, they had the microphones right up there. We've worked really hard for this. Let's fucking do it. And I remember thinking, did they work really hard for this? I mean, who did Liverpool play in the League Cup? Did they work really hard? I mean, am I being cruel? I don't feel like they worked really hard for it. I'm going to look it up now because I genuinely haven't got a clue who they played in the League Cup.
Plymouth, right?
Yeah.
Was it Plymouth?
Yeah, that's right. They've got past Plymouth.
Yeah.
Come on, we've worked really. Accrington. They beat Accrington 4-0.
Jeez, Accrington Stanley, shiver from me timbers.
Accrington Stanley, who the hell are they?
Tottenham, they had to beat Tottenham and Plymouth and Accrington. I was like, you know what? You haven't done much to get here. Chill out. Brentford as well. Are you saying? Sorry, Jose. I think you were saying Brentford in terms of teams that are good to watch. I haven't seen that much of them this season, honestly, but I definitely get that. Yeah. This is what a Champions League night is all about. I think the odds against us, the gods will apply some trickery. I hope you're right, Jose. I really hope you're right. At the beginning of the season, I said a team who's never won the Champions League or a team from left field would win it. PSG. That's who I think it is. I delight in being wrong on that. But I just think ever since this is what I feel. I think like when you look at it, hopefully cold, dispassionate look at football and you go, how the hell do Chelsea not bring in a player like manager like Luis Enrique?
Oh,
How
yeah.
did Tottenham not? He wanted to be in London. And then when Paris Saint-Germain took him, I thought, yeah, he's the guy to do it. They need a rebuild. Luis Enrique would be, if I was in charge of Man City and my life depended on them doing really well, I'd be saying, look, Pep, you've had a really good run. You're not the man to rebuild a team. And we don't, let's just bring in Luis Enrique. Something you said earlier, Zanzio, which I meant to pick up on and didn't, which I don't think enough people say this. You were talking about how Andrea Berta above Arteta. I would really like to see somebody with some influence over the football that isn't just Arteta, so that there is a different view of doing things. And when I look at Pep Guardiola, he has Lilo. He's always had cheeky Bergerstein above him. He's always had influence over him. He hasn't just been Pep Guardiola. He's always got consultants, consiglieres, whatever you want to call them. Arteta doesn't have that. But Luis Enrique, I know everybody says he's incredibly difficult to work with, but look what he achieves when you leave him alone. And the way he's got Paris Saint-Germain going at the moment, maybe it's a season too early for him, but I really think he's the man to do it, lift that Champions League trophy. They've spent the money to win it. We can all accept that. If money was what made trophies happen, Paris Saint-Germain would already be European champions.
Mm. It's 21st of April, 2023. That was Southampton.
3-3. Yeah, Southampton, yeah.
3-1 down after 61 minutes. 66
and it's
minutes,
funny.
Yeah.
And it was so horrible celebrating the equaliser. Because you kind of knew that, yes, all right, we've equalised, but it still doesn't matter. And then we had that really awful, talk about not turning up against Bayern. When we didn't turn up against Brighton at home and we lost 3-0 and the players just didn't seem to know where to go or what to do, it was just like, it was too much.
We didn't show up for that game either.
Sometimes we don't. Arteta sides don't always turn up. Cole's absolutely right. Exactly. My dad says if I don't drink all my milk, I end up playing for Accrington Stanley. Who are they? Exactly. Yeah. There you go. That's it. That's exactly what it was. Back in the day when they advertised milk. That is true, actually. You don't advertise milk anymore.
Accrington Stanley.
Accrington Stanley. Who are they?
Yeah.
That's who Liverpool beat to get to Newcastle. So, also, I haven't asked either of you yet. Miss Molina, start with you. Did you enjoy the League Cup final? Were you glad Newcastle won? Is there a bit of you that's happy for them, or
Yeah, I was glad Newcastle won. I mean, I was happy for their fans, and I congratulated one of the Newcastle fans I know from YouTube when it was full time. I was glad for their fans, Tunes fans, Geordies.
they've had a better season than us now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Oh, come on,
Right.
Dad.
All that silverware, guys. Nothing else
Yeah.
matters.
You forgot Eddie Howe's done it before Arteta.
Eddie Howe's what?
Eddie Howe has won it before Arteta.
Has he?
They said that.
Eddie Howe's won the League Cup before.
No, like a trophy this season before Arteta. That's
yeah.
what they were saying on YouTube channels.
Oh right, this is what they'll say. We get so much shit, and I just think we've all got. I've got to a point now where I just laugh. There's a Talk Sport. They put together a compilation of people saying how bad Arsenal were.
Didn't our FA Cup win mean anything then? Because we won that before.
No, it didn't. No, it doesn't mean anything.
Eddie Howe won.
It doesn't count. That was Emery's squad. It doesn't count.
Yeah, that's you did that with someone else.
Arteta inherited Emery's squad. It doesn't count.
Yeah, Emery would have won that League Cup. With the FA Cup.
Somebody said that line too. Emery would have won it with that squad.
But people say anything they want, and there used to be a time where you just ignored them, and just go, yeah, whatever. All right, mate. It was the Rosie line that I use now, which is enjoy your night, mate. I enjoyed the final, and it shows why different winners make competitions more enjoyable. Teams ending 50. Yeah, exactly. You've got to be moved by that. I mean, do you know what? For me, it was Dan Burns scoring that header.
Oh, that was great.
He was let go by Newcastle,
Yeah.
went down the leagues, came back. You can see what it means. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in Newcastle. It's a one-team city, and that makes such a difference. You know, if you're a Geordie, if you're from Newcastle and not the dreaded Sunderland, the Mackhams and the Borough, all your friends at school are Geordies. Everybody you know is a Geordie. Your mum, your dad, their whole chant, like everything about them is they're all Geordie together. There's no dissenting voices, so that's brilliant. And that town would have been absolutely just Newcastle's a great place to go out anyway, but fair play, absolutely fair play. They're a team that has given us all a lot of enjoyment over the years. I go back to the Keegan era where they were 4-3 against Liverpool. Some of the games that they played and didn't win anything. The cup final against us, you had to feel for them. They had the cup final against Man United the year later where they lost again. They hadn't scored at Wembley in 50 years or something, wasn't it? So yeah, I'm really pleased for them. I'm really pleased.
Can you imagine that the company owners in Newcastle would be saying to their staff on Friday, look, if we win the cup Sunday, don't bother coming into work next week because I fucking won't be here either.
Yeah. I was thinking that if you have a road traffic accident in Newcastle on Sunday, you want to hope the ambulance takes you to Sunderland because you're getting no joy out of anyone. I mean, it is such an epic achievement. I've just lit a joss stick. Don't worry, I'm not smoking. It's brilliant. It must be almost made better by the fact that everyone under 90 doesn't remember ever winning anything.
Yeah.
So tell me, ma'am, just like the whole vibe about it is beautiful. It's what football is. It's just
and a lot of people thought Liverpool had that in the bag, to be fair. So it's nice for a different winner, and they deserve it.
Funny though, like that's you're so right, Mel, because when Liverpool played Newcastle and it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
That was only a couple of weeks ago. And I was definitely thinking, oh, this isn't even going to be... I didn't give him a chance. But then as it gets nearer, after the PSG game, you did think that taken a lot out of Liverpool. The morale-sapping defeat, Has Mo Salah gone off the boil in another final?
He didn't show up again.
I know. Where is it? Okay, I want to ask you that then. Did he not show up or did they just not get him the ball?
I think a bit of both. Well, I like. Does he really need the ball at his feet? Why can't he pick his passes himself? But I guess, yeah,
You'd be a harsh coach, you would.
like a Simeone, a madman.
Yeah. You're right. You're my pick for next Arsenal manager. Arteta out.
Mhm.
Miss Molina.
Berta would leave. He'd be too annoyed with me.
You'd be too scared. This is a great comment. This is why I hold Aaron Ramsey in high regard.
Oh
for his
yeah,
goal.
he's good.
Wow, what a
I
great!
met him after Porto. It was
Oh,
crazy.
he's one of those players who you just feel if he'd been a bit older, he could have been in one of the great Arsenal sides. You know, if he'd been a bit younger, maybe he'd be in this side. It just, yeah, I mean, he was exceptional.
Injuries, God, yeah.
Injuries, and him and Wilshere with the injuries, but no, he's an excellent player. Didn't want to leave. I'm not sure he should have been allowed to leave, to be honest with you.
I can remember he scored a really good goal against Liverpool, and this at Liverpool in front of the cop, and the linesman flagged him offside. But this is before VAR, and then in the replays in the studio, you could clearly see that he was about a yard onside when the ball was played. Yet he still got flagged off.
Yeah. I don't think I remember that, but I to be honest with you, I think everything about him just was class. You know, I mean, you don't get a lot of midfielders that score that many goals anyway. Yeah, just a really good point, Jose. Aaron Ramsey, I mean, and Santi Cazorla. Mesut Ozil technically won 4 FA Cups with Arsenal, although I have a hard time feeling affectionate towards Mesut Ozil. I think I don't know what it is. There's some players I just don't. I don't know if there's anybody at the club now where I kind of go, yeah, you're great. Yeah, I'm really glad you're here. But when they leave, I'm like, I didn't really like them.
On his day, Mesut Ozil was outstanding, but you had to wait another 3 or 4 days games before he was back on the game.
Why do you think that was?
They kept saying he had back injuries in quotes.
Yeah. Do you think that's just a way of saying I don't want to play?
Yeah, or I don't want to play him. I don't know. It got really political.
I don't know him. I've never met him, but my brother's mate worked with him because my brother's mate worked at Adidas. This is all a second-hand story, and he said he turned up with his entourage. He was a total douchebag.
His attitude's crap.
Yeah, apparently. So make it out what you will, but I can't. Ever since he told me, because he told me that at a game once, this is a few years ago now, and I remember thinking, because Ozil was still playing, and I was like, but now whenever I think of Ozil, I always think of that, turning up with an entourage, having loads of people around him, being more interested in the what it looks like than what you would, maybe I'm just being really harsh on him.
Was it a signing event or something, Dan?
No, it was Adidas were sponsors, and he was doing a photo shoot for them, I think. How cool is this? I went to bed. This is Jose. I went to bed watching the 70-71 double run. What a lineup of legends from the stars to the subs. Mind you, only about 2 subs. So, that's the other thing, isn't it? Like, you look at that team and think, yeah, I mean,
you need to use the subs.
No, you were only allowed.
Now we have no players on the bench.
You had 2 players on the bench. You had 2 substitutes.
Yeah.
But you could only use one of them, couldn't you?
I'm trying. Well, in 70-71, I wasn't born. So, yeah, so I would have to defer to your expertise on that one. But yeah, I presume because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'd have to look that up. I don't know, but I would be amazed if you're. Well, actually, I could tell you what. I could look, see if they ever used more than one. I don't think they ever did. No. Yeah. Well, when I started going to football, you only had 2 subs, and I don't think you could use both of them then. So maybe, arguably, Frank McClintock, definitely one of the best captains ever. George Graham, Stroller, Ray Kennedy, Charlie George. Marinello was always an unused sub, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to look that up. I don't know when you could use both. I think it was in David Dean's autobiography where he talks about when he first came into football and he was trying to get it so the other league chairman would allow for more substitutes. And the reason they didn't want to do it is because it would cost more in shirts.
Oh my God.
That's what football's used to be. It used to be like, wow, we'd have to get 3 more shirts done. It's not worth it.
The
Just
budget.
yeah, it literally affects the shirt budget.
I just
that
wanted to say that even back then, they didn't have any of this concussion protocol that they have now.
Nope.
Not
That's
at all.
That's why you're 5 times more likely to have Alzheimer's and dementia if you're an ex-footballer than you are as a member of the general public. And
Wow.
it's even worse if you're a centre-back. Martin Keown talked about it with Tony Adams. They were saying, no, because obviously they played heavier balls, heading a ball. Even now, even in the game against Chelsea, when one of my bugbears watching Arsenal, and maybe it's just me, we're shit at headers. I mean, when we win a header in the middle of the pitch, it never goes to an Arsenal player. I would much rather we stop jumping. I mean, aerial, it's all very well getting a statistic that says you won your aerial duel. But if you won it to one of their players, it's not really worth it, is it? I mean, get your head to the ball first and aim the ball to somebody. That's anyway, I'm off on one.
I'm looking at the Arsenal-Liverpool lineup for the 71 Cup final. Our substitute was Eddie Kelly, and he came on for Peter Storey in the 64th minute. But looking at the lineups, apart from English, there's in the whole lot, there's 5 Scots, 1 Irish, and 1 Welsh.
Liverpool were the first team to field an entirely non-English team, weren't they?
I've got a feeling it might.
I've
got a feeling it might be Arsenal.
Right? No. I'm talking about it was Liverpool. It was. I'm almost 100% certain it was Liverpool because they fielded Welsh, Scottish, Irish, Danish. They didn't have an English player in that.
Or is it Arsenal were the first to field a non-British squad?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Entirely non. Yes, first English football team. Oh, it'd be interesting if I'm wrong. Fucking hell. There we go. Let's see. Oh, it's Man United. Yeah, there you go. Arsenal and Chelsea have long been accused of overlooking homegrown talent in favour of one, but now Manchester United. Oh no, that's not true. Yeah, so Arsenal are the first team to field one without a British player in it. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it was Liverpool in the 80s that that beautiful 80s side. Jan Molby was my favourite player. Armstrong, Kennedy, Samuels, brilliant players. Jerry used to... No, he's gone to bed, Jordan. Havertz in the middle, won a lot of duels. Do you know what? It's all of them. It's like Declan Rice. Everyone, next time you watch it, like when we win a header, the ball comes up and you get 2 players tussling and you win a header and then it goes to one of theirs and you just think... There was a point in that Chelsea game which was the worst of watching Arsenal, which is like we just couldn't get out of our half. And you kind of feel like rope-a-dope without the killer punch. It doesn't make sense to me. Like it makes sense watching Liverpool because one great ball from Trent Alexander-Arnold and you release Salah, release the Salah. Whereas with us, who are you releasing? Trossard. Does he run anymore? Release Sterling. At least he can play again. He's not tied up. I mean,
I'll just having a look at substitutions here. In 1965-66, Football League substitutions, but only to replace injured players.
When was that until?
That was 65-66.
The first World Cup, you couldn't even replace injured players. Uruguay played France and kicked them all over the place. And I think there was about 7 Frenchmen left on the pitch at the end. It's just like too bad.
In 67, substitutions were allowed for any reason, not just injuries. And then it was the 87-88 season, substitutions were increased to 2.
Yeah, so I was right. So when I first started going, it was only because they used to shout for Petrovic to come on, and he never did. He never ever did. Nancy's got a question about the record. Peter Marinello. Everyone. Oh, okay. I don't remember. I know of him, but a young Scott Starlet that didn't cut it after. It was £100,000 we spent on Peter Marinello. £100,000, the king's money. Not a chance. Danny isn't going nowhere. All he does stay at Liverpool. Oh, I don't know what we're talking about.
Autocorrect ruined his comment.
Yeah, I do remember Peter Marinello because he's one of the famous double winners. I've got a feeling he died very young, though.
Peter Marinello.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. He's still alive.
All right. I know there's someone who used to be in that squad who died quite young because I had a paper cutting of it from.
I'm trying to think of that squad. There's a few that have gone now, obviously.
Is this from the 70s?
Yeah, it's late 60s, 70s. Yeah. Marinello signed in 70. Actually, hold on. Yeah. Either late 69 or 70. It was a massive deal. I mean, obviously I wasn't born, but God, the people I grew up having been talked about. Oh, one Peter. The other one was Clive Allen. He was an Arsenal player for like 5 minutes or something. He was another one we spent a lot of money on. McClintock, definitely one of our greatest captains. Yeah, definitely. I think he's recognised as it. Hey, Chris Nix is here. Nice to see you, sir. I need a McClintock autograph. Miss Melina, can you get Jose a McClintock autograph, please? You are magic, after all.
You think I can meet him? He's probably dead.
See, why not? He goes to the matches a fair bit.
Oh, he's alive still?
Oh, yeah, Frank McClintock. Yeah. God, unless I've missed something, don't say that.
Sorry.
Don't. Frank McClintock's still alive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I had to look that up. Yeah. Yeah, he's 85, but he's still alive. He's Gleisgear. He was a good old Scot. I mean, he was.
Oh, Scottish. Rosie.
Oh, my God, yeah. Yeah, we had the Scottish contingent. We've had the Scottish contingent, the Irish contingent that followed them. That's why my granddad was an Arsenal fan, because we were the club that, Tottenham's very insular and it's not even really London. But Arsenal were the more cosmopolitan team, and we still are. We have been. We're like, Arsenal is a really good reflection of North London. It's like people from everyone's welcome, yeah. But in terms of Frank McClintock, the only thing that would go against him having a statue is just, I mean, it was not a great trophy haul, really. That's the only thing you'd say. He played. We had over 300 games. He was a captain, miraculous double winner in the days where that just didn't happen. It's only been done once before. So it's the equivalent of Man City doing the treble after Man United did it. We did the double after Tottenham were the only team that had ever done it. And Frank McClintock won the double, so he won 2 trophies, and he won the Fairs Cup.
Is that like a League Cup equivalent?
UEFA Cup equivalent.
Oh, UEFA Cup. Okay.
It's very loose. I mean, it was very different back then. I don't think you could really compare it. But yes, it is essentially a UEFA Cup equivalent. Well, we don't have UEFA Cup anymore, do we? We have the Europa League, and we have the Champions League, and we have the Conference League. So it would be a Europa League equivalent. They changed football too much. A George Graham autograph would be easier to do. He does go to the games.
He goes to games a lot, but he sits in club level.
It's funny, when he was Tottenham manager, he's got a house in Hampstead.
Hampstead,
Yeah, and his driveway Even when he was a Tottenham manager, his driveway had an Arsenal crest in it.
Wow.
You could go and look at it through the gates.
People say he was the best Arsenal manager on like ahead of Arsene
People
Wenger.
talk. I mean, listen, I personally, I don't think he
Wenger
was
revolutionized.
Yeah, I think it's narratives, isn't it? People listen. I have not a word to say against George Graham. Loved him. He was my hero as a kid. He built the 89s. Look, nothing bad about him, but you have to give some credit to the coaches who brought those players through that he benefited from. David Rocastle, Paul Merson, Kevin Campbell, Tony Adams, Martin Keown, Michael Thomas. These weren't players that he bought. These were players that Terry Burton and his team coached and found. And when he turned up, they were there. And yes, he used them really well. But yeah, I mean, I'm starting to sound like I'm saying something bad about George Graham. I just feel like some of the real heroes of Arsenal never get a mention at all. And if you listen to Tony Adams, Martin Keown talking about who the big deal for them was Arsenal, it wasn't George Graham, it was Terry Burton. It was the people that brought them up from kids, that found them, that saw them playing as 16-year-olds and went like, yeah, you're good, and then trained them to be that good. Both have colossal achievements against the two giants, Liverpool and United. I mean, George Graham is of course he's my hero, like, I mean, that's my hero. Like, I was a kid, I remember we had Don Howe and Terry Neal. And then again,
was the reason we got Arsenal Station, right?
Herbert Chapman.
Oh yeah, Chapman. Yeah,
Herbert Chapman. That's in the 30s, and he died. I mean, he won the treble with oh God, what are they called? Who was he with before us? Oh, that's going to do my head in now. Oh, come on. Come on, brain.
Like that.
No, up further than
Huddersfield.
Huddersfield.
Yeah.
It is Huddersfield.
Sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah, before us.
Yeah, so it does a treble, back-to-back Premier League, back-to-back Champions Leagues, right? And then you ever see the advert that he answered for the Arsenal job?
No.
Have you ever seen that? Oh, it's the funniest thing. Arsenal manager advert. I'll read it to you.
No, George Graham was what was my favourite player when he's playing for Arsenal.
Yeah. This notorious advert was placed by Sir Henry Norris, the man who bribed us into the First Division. So an absolute hero. Where is it? I've got to find it. Talk amongst yourselves. Arsenal. Oh yeah, here we go. This is the man. This is the advert that Sir Henry Norris placed in the newspaper when we needed a new manager, because Arsenal weren't doing that well, right?
Yeah.
Arsenal Football Club is open to receive applications for the position of team manager. He must be experienced and possess the highest qualifications for the post, both as to ability and personal character. Gentlemen whose sole ability to build up a good side depends on the payment of heavy and exorbitant transfer fees need not apply. It's just like, God knows what made him go. I mean, like, he obviously wanted to come back down south, and such a tragedy. Just such a tragedy.
He went to Tottenham.
Well, he was from Tottenham. He died in his second season at Arsenal. Second title winning season at Arsenal. So he only ever won one league with Arsenal.
89 and 04 are legendary, historic, 100%. And
for me, it'll always be in terms of if the 04 side played the 89 side, they'd make fairly light work of them. But you just can't get away from the glory of 89. It's just 89 was special because George Graham's never going to get us over the line. He's blown it. He flopped. He bottled it. We lost at home to Derby. It's just over. It's a disgrace. We're never going to beat Liverpool. People gave us less chance of going and beating Liverpool than they're giving us to beat Real Madrid now, and I think that's fair. Even the 71 double was historic because it hadn't been done for 70 or 100 years, not sure. No, the double had been done in 61 by Tottenham.
Yeah.
That's the only time it had ever been done before. In 1961, Tottenham did the double, and it was a great achievement, and blah, blah, blah. I never hear the end of it. So 10 years later, we went, well, we'll do it then. But not only did we win the double in 71, guess where we won the league that year?
At White Hart Lane.
We won the league at White Hart Lane. We won the league at the shithole. We won the Kennedy goal header. Goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I fucking love Arsenal. Fucking love Arsenal. How can you not? Like, we got so.
Won the league at Tottenham twice.
Yeah, we've won the league at Spurs home ground more often than they have. Fact. Absolute fact. That's why I could never get my head round in 04 when they equalised that silly penalty. What's his name? The Irish lad I'd really like. He equalised that silly penalty, and they were going around celebrating, and they go, "Don't you realise we've won the league anyway, you donuts? We won the league on the ground now. We get to show a Premier League trophy. You've never done that, donuts."
Hopefully, we hope Big Ange doesn't win this Europa League.
Oh God, don't
I
even.
really don't want that to happen.
Oh, Joan. Oh, you should have to say Hail Marys or penance or something. Don't say stuff like that.
Am I red carded now?
Oh, you can never be red carded, but my God, you're close. That's very, very casual.
Young Clayman red card. Oh no.
That was funny what you said, Dan, though, about the fact that we won the league at White Hart Lane more times than Tottenham.
Yeah, we've won the league at the Lane. That's how shit they are. That is how shit. We don't just win the double to wind them up. We do it at their ground as well. We go, here we go. So it's not that tough. And then we do it again with their captain.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Oh, we've won the double because you did it in 61, and that no one remembers that. But we've done it again now.
The captain, sit back down.
Thanks for Sol. And then again, like it's never ending being an Arsenal fan. We do things with a little bit of style. I love this comment as well. Arteta, can you imagine if Arteta wins the first ever Champions League? If he does it, that's I think if he wins the Premier League next season, it's not enough to get you on that wall. The Champions League. The first Arsenal manager that wins us the Champions League is going to be immortal, definitely.
That will be enough to get you on the wall.
Well, Champions League win, yeah.
I think if Arteta wins the Champions League, they're actually going to put Arteta on the wall if he's still alive.
Oh, mate, do you think he'd leave? Do you think he'd like, I've done it, I'm off to go to?
Oh no, I hope not.
Because I'm not worried, but some contracts coming up for renewal, you know, guys.
Huh?
Some of our players are coming up for renewals for their contracts.
Yeah. Saka, MLS, Gabriel Magalhaes.
Yeah.
Saliba.
Willow, yeah.
Who did you say?
Willow. William Saliba.
Oh.
Who else? Yeah.
No, that's enough to be getting on with, isn't it?
Berta, do the work, Berta.
You know what I mean? Do the work. Maybe that's why he hasn't. Why hasn't he just started yet? What is going on? What?
Wait, how do we know we haven't started yet?
He's not accepted the position. He's not officially our sporting director.
But I read somewhere, well, maybe this could be BS. I read somewhere that he's already started looking.
Yeah, maybe, but he's doing it on his own dime because we haven't started paying him yet.
Well, we're being too frugal to pay him.
I don't know, but there are other teams knocking around. I mean, AC Milan. I don't know if you've been keeping up with what's going on at AC Milan.
Yeah.
But they really want him. If it comes down to it, I mean, he's going to go to the highest bidder, isn't he?
I have to say something. You just reminded me. Last week, earlier this week, I read that Atletico Madrid or Barcelona are interested in Partey.
Thomas Partey?
Yep. Let me see.
He's free agent, isn't he? I mean, he can go if he wants. Free agent.
He will. He's not going to re-sign with us, unfortunately.
No, I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. I
We
think he's done.
upgrade that position.
I think that I'd be happy either way. Does that make sense? If he stayed, I'd be like great, but I just don't see him staying, and I'm okay with that. I would have been okay with that 2 years ago. He's had a great season.
This
Surprised
season,
me.
he's been fit. He's been most available this season, and you could say to the most extent of last season.
This is just my personal view, so I accept that it may be not in keeping with intelligent people's view of football.
You're intelligent.
There's something about Partey's mentality where I don't really feel that he can grab a game by the scruff of the neck. I think he's good sometimes and he's got drive. I think he's not confident enough for me. I want to see what Zubimendi does in that position.
So
Or
when
actually,
Zubimendi comes, where you place, you still would put Rice in the 6 and Zubi in the 8?
no, I think I'd probably. Well, I don't know Zubimendi well enough, but yes, I would definitely start with Declan at 6.
Zubi can play either 6 or 8.
Yeah, so that's what they say, but I mean, until you see it, I definitely would try some form of. I would probably start with Declan and see what Zubimendi can do going forward. Or maybe I don't know. It comes down to training. I think it's an interchangeable. You want them to be back and forth, like the old Vieira Petit dynamic. One goes forward, one stays back. Who knows? We may even try a different formation. Wouldn't that be great? I'm on the search for long sleeve, good Sega kit. Finally, about a year and change of
Gold
not being.
Sega, that's my dream Arsenal kit.
Is it?
It's really expensive.
It wouldn't be my favorite. The
Really?
gold one.
Yeah, that's the best Arsenal kit.
No, I think the 71 red and white is
The home one, 71.
home.
And the away kit.
No, for away, it's 89 for me. Well, I'll tell you what, it's definitely not our third kit this year. That can fuck off.
Monsters Inc. kit.
Oh, yes.
They still sell the 89, but it's just a remake version.
I know, yeah, it's not the original.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what the 89 kit is.
The yellow with the navy.
Yeah, it's up for grabs.
Oh,
Yeah,
of course. Yeah. Well, yeah, but that was almost like the 71 kit.
Yeah,
In the
almost.
fact it is white, yellow,
What
blue
about
shorts.
what about the centenary kit, the yellow one?
That's all right. Yeah.
It has the wrong color.
I don't hate. I tell you what I don't like, which is that kind of maroon oxblood kit. I never really got on with that one. I know
The maroon is the last season hybrid one. You don't like that one?
No, not really feeling it.
That's one of my favorite kits.
Mm.
I need the 89, the gold Sega, and the bruised banana. I have the bruised banana. I bought it from that.
The bruised banana. That is epic.
The original bruised banana.
That is epic. That's what I've got, the scarf and the trousers. I do want, like, what's hilarious about that is it was detested when it came out.
Yeah.
It was everybody hated it. And now it's like the most iconic Arsenal kit you can.
The JVC bruised banana. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was iconically bad. Saliba best mate. This is a comment that sends shivers down me. Saliba being best mates with Mbappe always worries me. Yeah, and me.
He's gonna go do an RKO on Mbappe in the international tournament.
Can you imagine? Imagine if they get each other sent off. How funny would that be? They get to watch it cuddling. No, it's brilliant. They're a great question from AJ here. In the summer, who do you want out of the club? I don't want anyone out. Like, I'm not looking to. Fabio Vieira is being talked about coming back. Apparently, I've read a news article earlier, which was Arsenal have been watching the loan players with keen interest. I fucking hope so. We're still paying them. Do you know what I mean? At least watch them. We might take Fabio Vieira back. We might. I wouldn't mind him. I wouldn't mind him leaving. I'm not desperate for anyone to leave, really. I think we need players come in.
Go away.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, he's not one of ours. He's
not being made permanent, please, never.
No, and
God, you can imagine if we signed him.
Neto, another one, he can fuck off as well.
Fucking rubbish. Sorry, language.
No, it's all good. After 12 o'clock, I think everything goes. No, AFCON has been a key factor in my opinion. Yeah. What in this season? Oh, for Thomas Partey. Yeah, that's a good shout. Is Tommy leaving or staying? Well, Tommy's injured till at least January, isn't he? Isn't he injured till at least next year?
Next season, pre-season. Yeah.
I feel for him, and it was like when do you know what? One of the classiest things our club has done, when we extended Mo, El Neni, even though he was injured. That's made me so proud of her. Say again?
And they allowed him to get his coaching badges and recover when he was injured.
You know, when your club does something and you're just like,
That's Arsenal.
Treat him like people. The Arsenal.
I always felt sorry for Abu Diaby.
Yeah.
Because when Vieira went, I was thinking, well, who can replace him? And then Abu Diaby came up, and I thought, wow, he's like Vieira Mark II.
Yeah, very much so.
And then injuries just blighted him, didn't it?
It's awful when you see that. I mean, the worst one for me was Eduardo, though. Like, just because it was such a needless injury. Reinders or Zubamendi for me. We have Rice in the 6. Yeah, see that. I need the 89 gold Sega and the bruised. 89 is not a gold Sega though. Gold Sega's early noughties, isn't it? And the bruised banana. I don't even remember what year that was. You know, it would have been 95. No, 90. It was blue in 95. When was the bruised banana kit? 70, 71, yellow and blue long sleeve is gorgeous. It definitely is. Diaby was quality. Eduardo, I mean, just such
I think it's 91, 93. The bruised banana.
So
right?
That could be
93, I think.
92? I don't think it was 91. I would have to look that up.
I think 93. Was that classic retro kit to have in your collection?
Yeah. I never collected kits, but I think I'm getting there. I think I might start. Actually, I'm not sure. It's so expensive, man. Imagine if they brought it back. Bring it back. Never mind. Just have like certain shirts. Just I don't know. Just make everyone buy one every season, but don't change it. I don't know.
No, 91, 93.
93, yeah, you're right. You were right, Mel. 91 to 93. See, we don't do that anymore. 2 seasons, 1 shirt.
You know what my criticism is as well? Why can't our away kit stick to the canary yellow like the old days? This Monsters Inc.
I don't mind. Listen, I don't mind the Lynx Africa kit as the away kit.
Which one?
Yeah, the black one with the one that's an homage to all our African fans. And you think, what about our Asian fans?
Yeah.
How comes no one gives a shit about them? What about American fans? You have an Arsenal kit.
What about Canadian? Oh, well.
We've only got 2 of them. So
Arsenal's gold Sega kit was 0102.
Yeah, that kit is expensive.
Yeah, all the ones that you win shit in, eh? That's what
Marble Halls kit. That one was 22, 23. Marble Halls.
I want to reply to this. AJ said I want Jesus, Zinni, Yuri. I think you mean Jorginho on that one. Trossard and Kivior with those players who won't win anything. It's true, Dan. We're not getting rid of Jesus because no one will buy him. He's injured. Zinni, I think I would disagree. I really like Zinchenko, but I can see why Trossard, I 100% agree with you on. Jorginho, I like him. Kivior, I forget he plays for us, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he barely gets a game.
He just doesn't, does he? I mean, he's so far down the pecking order, he might as well.
When Kivior starts, he's good.
He's not terrible.
But he doesn't get a run of games, Andy.
Well, yeah, but there again, look who he's going to replace, though.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he gets injured. Well, last season it was the case.
Yeah. No, I think we're all saying the same thing. I don't think anyone's got a problem with Kivior. I just don't think he's good enough. It's not, and that's not even a slight, really, if you think who he's got to be better than to get a game. No. I think with Trossard, I'm fed up with Trossard. Honestly, I've had enough.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I've just had enough. It's really starting to piss me off now. you know, you can talk about, oh, he's the best finisher in the club, and you can talk about all this. To me, his attitude's not right, and he's not running. And, you know, you need more energy than that. Maybe if he was a false 9, if he was playing as a 10 or something like that, I'd get it, but he just does not put the work rate in for me. So I'm not going to miss him. I love Trossard as well. I was a big fan of his. I'm so glad we signed him.
He had 2 good chances against that Chelsea
Oh
side,
man, so did
and he
Martinelli. Fluffed their line.
blared them both times.
I know, but he gets a pass on all his fluffs.
Who?
You know, I mean,
Trossard?
yeah, Trossard. Well, he hasn't been injured this season,
No,
right? So let's have a conversation about Trossard then.
you're right. Martinelli does get a lot of hate compared
Martinelli gets a lot of hate. How many goals do you think that Trossard scored this season?
to less than
This
10.
season, he's started 21 games.
And how many
goals?
goals?
How many goals do you think, Zanzi? How many goals do you think Trossard scored this season?
4.
4-4-3.
Yeah, 4
Wow.
fucking goals.
Shit.
Why aren't people going, he's shit, get rid of him? I'm with you on that one, AJ.
I do want to play a bit of devil's advocate here. Maybe it's not good to defend, but in my defense, going back to last season, especially the Champions League run-in, I know we got eliminated in the quarterfinals. But putting that aside, I do think that this season, due to injuries and the mismanagement of squad, we've relied on him more as a starter than as a coming off the bench. But at the same time, on the other side, like in your defense, you can say, well, then he shouldn't have done that crap against to Arteta in the celebration against Aston Villa. It was like almost like he was saying, "This is why you start me, because I'm scoring goals." Well, then put your money where your mouth is and show it on the pitch, right?
Yeah, and
I think we burnt him out. Maybe I'm using the wrong words, but I think he's exhausted his energy by being a key starter in the team. However, on the other hand, you can say he wanted it, or
he demanded it. He threw his toys out of pram. I don't know what the truth to this is, but it affects how I see him. That he wanted the move to Saudi and didn't get it. He did that petulant celebration. You should never do that. That's a terrible way to make a point. You know, like by all means, score a goal and then go and talk to the manager afterwards. But on the pitch, it's so disrespectful because you're basically saying, Martinelli, you shouldn't be starting. You know, it's a squad harmony problem I have with it. And the reality is exactly like you've just said. Oh, start me. I'm brilliant. Start me. Play me. I should start. 21 games, 4 goals, 5 assists. Not good enough. Thanks. Eddie Nketiah settings. You know, well, what? Like, okay, so we got best finisher in the club. No, he's not. He's not the best finisher in the club because he keeps skying the bloody ball. He keeps getting chances. He's missed 6.
Drop him on corners. I'm tired of seeing him take corners. He's dreadful on corners.
Oh, he's dreadful. Dreadful. Zinchenko in midfield looks a brand new player. I really like Zinchenko. I think I'm the last man standing, and I say that having read
the most hated player in this team, overhated, I would say, Zinchenko.
It's funny, I don't get it. I mean, I read his autobiography, so if I just read his autobiography, I probably think he was the biggest dickhead in the team as well. It is a crap autobiography, but as a footballer, I like him in midfield. We so many people were saying, why doesn't he try him in midfield? Odegaard's injured. Well, when you try Zinni, he plays there for Ukraine and he doesn't do badly. And we do everything but play him there. And then for a bit of a laugh, we throw him on in a game that doesn't, PSV. And he looked good, man. He did look good.
A question. You know how Zanzi, and we were talking about the Johan Cruyff School of Football earlier in the stream. Do you think that eventually football will move away from the inverted fullbacks, like what we did with Zinchenko and you could say Kieran Tierney?
Already has.
So we're outdated?
We don't really do it the way that we did it either.
Well, we did it last season.
No, we did. Yes, we did last season.
Not to the way of Pep Guardiola's extent, no, but...
Yeah, but Pep's not doing as much anymore. I think all these things come and go. I think that what's really interesting for me is if you watch Fluminense a couple of years ago, there's got to be an antidote to the type of football which is possession based, and I actually thought it would be the Fluminense style of chaos, but I have a feeling it's more likely to be the sort of Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest sit back, counter, press, break quickly approach that really undoes teams because look at City this season. They're struggling to break down teams.
Yeah.
Arsenal, we always seem to struggle. We're not inventive enough to break. We go round teams. We don't go through them well.
You can't break down a low block.
Not really. No, not. And I don't know we were talking about this earlier, before you came on. Like, is it because Odegaard doesn't have anyone to pass to, or is it because he doesn't have that pass? We put Mesut Ozil in his prime, or Dennis Bergkamp in his prime in this team instead of Odegaard, right? Would he be finding players who aren't there?
Picking the pass himself, you reckon?
I don't know. Would you have to be shooting a lot, wouldn't he? I think he'd get really frustrated. I watched us against Man United, and it was such a boring match. But I went frame by frame and did an analysis of it, and you find over and over again that we recycle the ball and we keep the ball, but we do fuck all with it. And there's a point where you just go, just do something. Shoot, do something. Even if it's a low percentage, it's not as low percentage as passing it back to Saliba. The Marble Halls kit, isn't that the white one? When do we play? When's that from?
I think it's from COVID or the year after COVID. We had the Navy third kit.
I definitely didn't. I remember not liking it. The Freddy Krueger kit. I hope Martinelli stays.
Oh, it's from COVID 2020.
That makes sense, doesn't it? I hope Martinelli stays for another few. I fucking love Martinelli. I get triggered when people don't like him.
Fans gave up on him.
I like him as well.
I just love I love everything about him. Like when he's having a go at Declan Rice for scoring the equaliser against Man United. I want that in my dressing room all day long. I'm like, what are you fucking celebrating for? We've still got to get another goal. Love that. Thank you, Martinelli. But when they said to him, are you signing a contract? He goes, just get me a pen. Like, when do players ever do that? I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him. Sometimes it's got to matter more than how good they are, hasn't it? I mean, do you know what? That's being a football fan has something to do with that, doesn't it? Perry Groves was not a legend at Arsenal because he was like a Brazilian style footballer. It was because he was Perry Groves.
Yeah.
He was Perry Groves. He played with his heart on his sleeve. He was there for all the big moments. It's Perry Groves. Gotta love your own, man. Trossard shows glimpses of greatness and can't be bothered for the rest of the time. That's how I feel. I feel exactly like that. I feel like he could be good, but I think, do you know what? He had a kid last year. Odegaard's had a kid this year. I don't think you should allow any of our footballers to have children.
Panama scored on America.
It's almost like they go, oh, I've got a kid now. That's more important than the Arsenal.
Or they don't get sleep. I don't know.
Well, that's
hire a nanny.
Mate, if you're if you're worth 50 to 100
yeah, you can get a daddy.
You'd get some sleep, wouldn't you? You would
like. You can get all my butlers and more, Dan.
Do you know what I mean? You'd get a wet nurse, wouldn't you? False nine and inverted fullbacks will die away, and wingbacks and traditional strikers will emerge again. God, I hope you're right. I do miss it. Do you know what I miss? Now I'm doing my. What I miss going back is I like a winger. I like a right-footed winger on the right wing. I know, just controversial, but when they used to run down the right wing and then cross it in with their right...
That's it. Big centre forward. Bang. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Alan Smith. Bang. Job done. Have some of that. I'm not even sure about wing backs, actually, now that I think about it. No, I like my fullbacks. Lee Dixon. I want to go back to 1989. That's what I want. Possession-based Pep anti-football is dying away. Players are re-emerging as the real stars, slowly but surely. Hope you're right, man. USMNT down in the 90th minute. Panama! What happened?
In the 90th.
What's happening?
90th minute.
What's going on? I don't know what's going on.
That's what you get, Trump. Sorry.
What? Your president, isn't he? How come you've got... Isn't your new Prime Minister the former chairman of the Bank of England? What are you doing?
He's terrible. He's not... No, we're calling an election, Dan. He's horrible, Carney. Carnage, Carney. Carbon tax, Carney. He's terrible.
I tell you what, I'm so glad I'm not into politics anymore.
We're in trouble, Dad. We're in big trouble.
The world is in trouble. That's why it's so important to watch football, because no one's going to agree on the way to run the world. We're all.
But we can agree on football sometimes.
Yeah, I wish we
Most
could
of the
agree
time,
more.
right?
We agree more.
You
Where we
reckon?
got Brazil are a goal up. I'm gonna have to.
Rafinha, he's a baller.
Oh, I saw that in the WhatsApp group. Yeah, Rafinha is shit hot. So close to signing him, but yeah, we're not getting him now, are we? No, he's brilliant though.
He's phenomenal. He's not gonna leave. They made him captain and everything. He's firing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree with you. I mean, it's his position where he's playing just behind the front. You know, like.
Yeah, but even at Leeds, Dan, he was good too.
Yeah, I wasn't totally sold for the amount of money that he went for. And
I don't remember how much money was it.
50 million.
Huh?
50 million.
That's it.
Yeah, but you're looking at 50 million now.
Oh, now, not then. Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago, it was a lot, you know. But Panama play just swarmed Henry after scoring a 90th minute winner against the USA. Oh wow! What? Why am I not seeing this? God, it's so difficult to.
I don't know what channel it's on in the UK.
Oh, it won't be. It's not. It's definitely not on a channel in the UK.
Yeah, they don't show our games.
No, I have to watch a lot of it on.
Stream.
Yeah, but you can watch a lot of it on betting sites.
For free?
Yeah, well, you have to have money in the account, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, but that's where I'm watching the Brazil match now. Oh, I've just started.
The US games just ended. Panama winning 1-0.
Yeah, Panama won.
Who's the US men's national team coach? Isn't it Pochettino?
Yeah.
He's going to Tottenham, you know.
Three.
He had a meeting with Daniel Levy.
Yeah, I saw that.
I can't wait.
You think he's going to go to Tottenham?
Yeah, I do. I really do. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see. I hope they sack Big Ange. I hope he wins the first. He's not going to beat Frankfurt.
I always win trophies in my second season.
I have a little sympathy for him for that, because that is a fact. But it's just that the places he's won trophies have been such.
Spurs. It's not Spurs where he's.
Yeah. It's like, well, Antonio Conte usually wins a league in his second season. It doesn't make any difference when you come to Spurs, does it? Right. Well, it's nearly 1 o'clock. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you to everybody who watched. Zanzi, always great to have you here alongside. Thank you for your time. And
Thank you, Daniel.
And grab a packet of pork scratchings on your way out there for you. And Miss Molina, the Queen of Arsenal.
Thanks, Dan, for doing the show tonight.
Yeah.
Congratulations again on 1.5K and more to come.
We did drop down to 1,500 and then it went back up. I haven't done any videos or anything, so I will be hopefully making some videos over the weekend, and I'm sure we will see each other again over the weekend for opening the Adam's Arms. Make sure.
Yes, I am, Jose. You know me too well. I'm streaming
what's he watching? What's Moss watching?
Canada game.
Oh, is that not kicked off yet?
No, it is.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. So let me have a quick look.
Sorry, no, it's at 10:30 tonight. I forgot the time difference.
10:30.
It's gonna be 11, 12, 2 in the morning, 2:30 UK time.
I'll have to watch the highlights tomorrow.
Hopefully,
is Jonathan and David playing?
Yes.
Am I not going to get some shit for calling him David?
No, it's okay. We'll forgive you.
You're too nice.
We'll forgive you if you help us out politically in this war.
But no,
isn't it funny how Canada got two people called Jonathan David and Jonathan David?
Do you know what, Miss Molina? You know you're desperate not to become the 51st state of America.
No,
I like England to become the 51st state of America. I think they'd be brilliant. Yeah, man. Like, we already speak the language.
That should be something for the channel Unthink, Dan.
Busy as hell on that. You know what? At the moment, there's an incredibly interesting debate around democracy, which has been informed by a book I read recently, which has changed my view on it. But anyway, I'll let you know about that as soon as it's finished. But guys, thank you so much, all of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making the Adams Arms a fun place to
Thank
be.
you, everybody. Thanks, Zanzi.
Thank you,
On
Mel.
the
You're
weekend.
wonderful.
Be lucky. Lots of love.
Bye. Bye.
Stay safe, everybody.